proudly we hail, and the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave? Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight here and name the name of the brave. We are the U.S. of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the U.S. of A. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
chance. You better believe it. And I'll tell you wrong or right. Yeah, too bad, but I'm mad, and now you know it. Ooh, you see, a new me, and I can't wait to show it. Here comes trouble. Walking down the street. Here comes trouble. I said, pretty soon we're gonna meet, boy. Here comes trouble. Knocking on that door. You'll soon see what I've been waiting for. Yeah. Here comes trouble. Walking down the street. And here comes trouble. I warn you, pretty soon we're gonna meet, boy. Here comes trouble. Knocking on your door. Yeah. You'll soon see what I've been waiting for. Yeah. Better wait.
Morning, everybody. Can anybody hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I don't know if my mic's working. Is the mic working? Test, test, 1, 2. Yep, you can hear me? Boy, that's some loud. Yeah, I don't like this. It sounds. Okay. I don't. Okay, bear with me. If it's even working, I guess it's working. I don't know. Bear with me. I'm figuring it out. Can y'all hear me now? Man, this is just. I just don't know, man. Let's see what happened to them all. I'm gonna play y'all this and let me see if I go out and come back in.
America is going woke. The streets are full of fire and smoke. This ain't the way I thought it would be. The White House full of evil folks. Americans ain't free no more. They don't respect folks like you and me. The way we're treated ain't been fair. Fake news on every TV. 4 years we've been in this nightmare while they killed American dreams. We can't afford our lives here. Rent, food, and gasoline.
one to do.
We love our home, and if you don't, pack your bags, you're free to go. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split ya. Wave goodbye to Joe. We love our land. If you ain't fans, buddy will help you pack your bags. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split ya. Burn someone else's flag.
America is losing hope, divided by the way we vote. This ain't the way that this all should be. We're fighting over memes and jokes. They're burning flags that we hold close. They think that war's only overseas. The way we're painted.
Can y'all hear me now? Can you hear me over the music?
You got something to say? Well, I'm right here. Thank God for the freedom of speech. You like to claim I don't care, 'cause I ain't gonna bend no knees.
Colors don't run, and I only warn you once. Buddy, don't tread on me. I won't forget the ones who died for our freedom, and I ain't gonna hand it back. No, no, no. If liberty and justice ain't enough to believe in, then get out of here and don't look back. Go, go, go. We love
Okay, thanks. I don't know. There's just some kind of weird lag.
you're free to go. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split ya. Wave goodbye to Joe. We love our land. If you ain't fans, buddy will help you pack your bags. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split ya. Burn someone else's flag. If you look close, you'll see America. She don't look quite like she did. This ain't the country that our parents love, but I still hear her on the wind. We love our home, and if you don't, pack your bags, you're free to go. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split ya. Wave goodbye to Joe. We love our land. If you ain't fans, buddy will help you pack your bags. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split ya. Burn someone else's flag.
Okay. I don't know. We're just going to... Hopefully this is working now. Do you see me? Can you hear me? I don't know. I think the system just kind of reflected my thought process this morning, and just... I was hoping I could use my other little mic so I didn't have to kind of get intimate and close with this mic, but it looks like it is what it is. Yeah. It's kind of a weird night. Kind of got I don't know. Kind of got a little down a little bit for a while. It just kind of, I don't know, man. It was so funny. I was just kind of seeing this, and I'm just like, damn, man, this is why we can't have nice things. It's like there's nothing positive. It's it's kind of like, I don't know. You watch this cool little video announcement, and then all of a sudden, just to even butcher up a good message, got to go in there and pick the words to make it sound bad instead of good. And I'm just like, good God, man, we got the presidency. It looks like we got the Senate and the House. You'd think things are going to, but it's like, nope. The Debbie Downers are just so hardcore. It's like, nope, any gleamer of sunlight. No. And I'm just like, God dang, man. I mean, and all I could think of was sit there and think of that phrase. This is why we can't have nice things. I don't think anything's ever going to be good enough. And I'm like, holy shit, how do you get so embedded with fear and stress and tension that you just, there is no more positive in the world? It's like, how do you get there? I mean, I guess I get it, because I mean, I've had my down points, but man. And Eric, It was cool. He was in one of those rare forms, and anybody been through the little kid thing, you know what I'm talking about. They just have these little moments, you know. He was in rare form. Oh, yeah, see, but Matt, you're talking about the liberal side. I'm talking about this side, if there's such a thing as this side. I don't. It's just like, I mean, okay, so you had two teams. So you had two teams meet up on the field and play. One side's going to be unhappy. That's a given because two teams were playing. So but it's the fact that 3/4 of the winning team are like, and it's like, wait a minute, aren't we supposed to like be glad right now? Like we kind of are winning, we're moving forward. Nope, it's all, and I'm like, God dang, man, you can't. There's no succeeding. There is no getting out of this. Life will never be no better. And I'm just like, I don't know. And it really has changed the direction. Anyway, I didn't even say morning to y'all. So morning, Rabbit, PJ, Eric, Bill, Scat Pack. Let me scroll up. Coffee first. Mr. Matt. I saw Big Dusty, Little Dusty in here. I'm scrolling. Blackbird, morning. Mr. Tony. Man, I'm trying not to skip nobody. Did I? Nope. Okay. So I think I got everybody. I think I did. If I didn't, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, that's what I wish I could see, Matt. And instead, hell, it's like Trump's speech with his plan, and it's like trying to bring back the country stuff back when, like, we had the state fairs and the world fairs. Oh, no, no, no. That's really bad. And so it's like, I just don't, it's like, man, you just can't win. You just, it's like, I thought it was kind of ironic when you look at the graphs, you can actually even see, it's like when Obama came in, it was like 128, 129 million, something like that. But you think about all that stuff he was talking about back then, the healthcare, everybody kind of started to get underneath him, so you had that. Then the second term, the numbers dropped down because people didn't really buy it. And then Trump come on the scene, and you can see that whole American message, and it picks up. It gets about 129 million total votes, okay. And then all of a sudden the 2020 thing comes and it shoots way up, and then it comes back down to 24, and there's like about 129. So it's like the average stays the same except for 2020. I don't know. I guess I was hoping that, we're going to be able to move forward, but it's like, man, we just realized that, no, you were fighting this fight, and now that fight's over and we're going on to the next one, well, nope, half the team is not even, has no confidence in anything, and you're just kind of like, oh, wow. But anyway, it was just kind of a real eye-opener, and I was just like, well, there's really nowhere, I don't know. It's hard to find somewhere to go to where you're just kind of encouraged to keep plugging away. There's a glimmer of daylight at the end of the tunnel, and instead, yeah, I don't know. You just can't seem to win for losing. It's like even if you win, you lost, because no. I doubt that spike in number happened. Oh, I think it happened, Tony. If you think about the footage back in 2020, like in Georgia, where they had that mother-daughter that were steadily rescanning ballots. You got shit like that went down. So I could see where that spike come in. That's why they shut everything down. The numbers weren't hitting. I just hope that now that we can change the Department of Justice and that stuff, that now we can actually focus on who broke the law. And I don't know, Grumpy might show up. Hopefully Grumpy will show up here in just a little bit, and we're going to start some W.R.O.L. It's not, I don't blame them, Huckleberry. It's just, I don't know, man. I guess when you're so miserable and you're so stressed, I guess nothing ever looks like it's really going to work. I guess it's there because there is those moments in alcoholics or dope fiends and stuff. There's that sobering moment where it gets really rough and you just think that, man. So I kind of get that, but I just, after everything we've been through, and you would think that, I don't know. Because, hell, I'm disgruntled. Hell, I was pissed off. Sat here, watched 2020 go down. I've lived the 4 years, but it's like, if you're not walking on needles and you're not scared of every bump in the night, then it's like you just don't know. And I'm like, no, I just don't live in fear, dude. I mean, oh, no, Coffee. See, this is where your clocks are wrong, but it's okay because we forgive you. I mean, we don't hold it against you that you guys do the hour ahead thing. I mean, gosh, y'all elected like Mayor Adams and whatever that Kathy Hochul name or whatever her name is. It's kind of like Kiss Off with Fetterman when she comes in with her East Coast time. It's like, y'all vote in for people like Fetterman and stuff. And I don't know. Where's Delaware? Isn't Delaware on the East Coast? See, that's what the hour ahead gets you. It gets you Biden. See, Biden's an hour ahead. You still think your time zone's really all that? I'm just saying. Actually, Matt, that was, he said 6:30-ish. But see, that's the East. That's that Central time, not the East time. Nobody's trying to get ahead of the game. Man, all I can say is don't lose sight. Work in your areas. If life's still that miserable for you, you need to get out of there. I don't know. But see, that's what that East Coast time will get you. It gets you Biden's. I'm just saying. Right, Best Life? See? Best Life's in the Central Time Zone. So now he knows he's in the only one that really matters. It's the Central Time Zone. That's why it's called Central. I'm just saying. I don't know what he said. I'm just poking. Excuse me. And what's up, Blue? And damn, did I miss any? I'm sorry. I got PJ. I got Best Life. Man, I just kind of got wrapped up into yakking away. So good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it works for you on the ball of dirt. Oh, man. Yeah, it's kind of a weird start this morning. I mean, hell, I'd go to do something, and all of a sudden the mic wouldn't work, and then I'd do this, and then the earpieces wouldn't work, and then I'd click on this, well, then it wouldn't play. And it's like, yeah, I guess somebody got butt hurt about me going live or something, and it's like, no, 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 no. They tried. I believe I'm in the right time zone, and I do believe Indiana and Kentucky were the first states to go red. Well, yeah, the states with the fewer populations should have come in first because they didn't have so much to count. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Yeah, see, PJ's in Central Time. Yeah, see? The cool people hang out in Central Time Zone. I'm just saying. Y'all are more than welcome to come on over anytime. We don't think we're an hour ahead of anybody, and we're not dragging ass a couple hours behind everybody. So we just kind of, we're centralized. What's up, Tuck? Hey, morning, Kush. I know we got what'd they say, 20 years, 40 years or something? It's like the first time in a long time that a Republicans won the populist vote. No, we won't hold that against anybody that's in the East Coast time, Coffee. That's just how central people work. I know Texas went redder this time than before. Like some of those Democratic counties along the border. Yeah, they said to hell with this shit, man. So there's a lot of them. It kind of, yeah. It changed some chunks down there, and it's like, good. It's weird, man. You I don't know. Me no sabe. Me no sabe. I expected, the other side to be like, no, Orange Man bad. But I thought, like, people on the other side, they were wanting, that would kind of like be, yeah, we won something. Yeah, okay, let's step forward. And it's like you're like, hey, we move forward. We could take a step forward. And everybody's like, nah. Let's just stay right here. Matter of fact, let's back up one step. And it's like, wait a minute, we just got an advancement. Oh, here we go. I'll bring in the big guns. Don't jack with me. I'll bring in the grumpy dude.
Can you guys hear me?
Big 10-4.
Awesome. How's everybody doing this morning?
Kicking it. We're kicking it in the sticks.
It's raining here, so I don't know. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do this week or today if it's raining, because I spent like 8 hours out in the rain last weekend. That's for the birds. I'm going to find something inside to do to move my preps forward.
Right. Hey, Steph. Morning.
Hey, before we get into this, I want to read you guys something. As I was getting ready, I stumbled across this.
Uh-oh.
This is exactly why we do what we do and why we think the way we think. Okay? This is exactly why. So this is from WPDE.com, which is a ABC News affiliate. And here's what the news article says. An employee with FEMA told relief workers responding to Category 3 Hurricane Milton in Florida to avoid homes with signs of support for now President-elect Donald Trump. They did it in teams and they did it verbally. This is why we do what we do and why we think the way we think. There are people in the government who are supposed to be our servants that think this way. There were 20 families in Florida that were affected by a hurricane, and this came from the Daily Wire. This news agency is reposting it, and apparently there's been some independent conversation. The lady did it on Microsoft Teams. Okay, if you're going to be un-American and unpatriotic, don't do it on a platform that's going to record everything you say.
Right.
My God, not only are they partisan and hateful, they're stupid to boot.
Right. Damn. Well, hey, you buckle down. Hopefully we got just, 2 months? And then things maybe,
Well,
And I get it, you say it, but then people want to dogpile on the internet, and it's like, man, you know what? Okay, then fine, let's just say everybody's going to die tomorrow. I mean, does that work? I mean, I like to think that he gets in and he changes some of these heads of these departments that we'll see. I mean, what's wrong with hoping for that and kind of going, yep, that sounds good, let's see what happens, then in just going into freak out mode and just be like, no, nothing good's going to happen. It's all bad.
Did you guys see his 10-point plan for what he's going to do? He kind of laid it out big, 10,000 foot. Here's the thing about that I like. I'm not going to lie. I'm pessimistic about any changes he can make. Right? I was. Because I understand the power of the deep state, and I understand what he's going to go up against, right? Here's what's made me hopeful about what he said yesterday. If you look at all his points that he's trying to do, most of those points are things that the deep state cannot counter. All right. And they're all built towards informing the American citizenry and giving us the freedom we need to pursue liberty. All right. That's a genie that once it's out of the bottle can't be put back in. All right. So even assuming that they demonize him and it's only a 4-year run and Vance can't secure the next presidential election, because he's going to be the next nominee, right? Vance is going to be the next nominee. Just assuming they can't do that, we will have had 4 years of him making it so that people have the freedom to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They can't fight that. That's one of the reasons the Soviet Union fell, and that's one of the reasons why the American deep state is bound towards failure. Now, what's going to come out of the end of that, I have no idea. But it is right. It's something that to look forward to.
Well, that's what I look at. Okay, there was an administration up there that became obvious. They have our demise is there in mind. I mean, how their actions were against people, and it's like, so we have a glimmer, we have a shot. But and I just found it kind of just frustrating. At first I was kind of like, man, it's kind of depressing because you can't, man, you need to take little bitty drafts of breeze to lift your sails. You can't just wait for the 40-mile-an-hour wind, and that's the only one that's going to push the boat forward. You got to go with the little gust, you just got to, you take what you can get, but you just don't stop rowing, that's all. And so it's like, I find it positive. I just found it ironic because that video has already been cut up by our side. I even hate saying it like that, but that's where we're at. But it's even been cut up by our side and then doctored to show that there's some like subliminal messages in that stuff, like the trade fairs and oh my God, they're going back, and it's like this is the same thing the other side was doing. Are we not ever going to gain any ground? I mean, the dude's fixing to, you just got to look at the coalition. See, to me, the coalition says volumes. He isn't just Donald Trump going in this time. He's flat out said it. Nope. Just thought I knew. Now I know. So what did he do? Now he's put people around him that are like insulating him. His whole transition team has been insulated from the White House so that it's not infected the same way it was. There's no moles and
Well,
type shit. Is it
I
going to
was
be perfect? No, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing is perfect. But damn, do I see progress from 16 to 2020 to 24? I hear a progress, a message that progresses us forward. I hear a positive message. I hear an intent to fix some of the errors. That shit sounds good. When he shows me he's not going to do that, then I'll call him a sorry SOB. But man,
okay. Here's my Gen Xer poking through, dude. 2016 was A New Hope. 2020 was The Empire Strikes Back. 2024 is Return of the Jedi. Tell me that ain't so.
okay, so what? So then our next version is going to be this perverted woke version shit that's going to come out in our Star Wars theme? Because you picked a hell of a theme, Grumpy, to use. Where we're rocking along, but then look at what they've done to Star Wars.
Look, you can't. So you can't use that the rest of them as an analogy for this because we're moving forward. We can't jump back in time and rewrite the beginning of the story. All right, that's already been.
They did.
Okay, yeah, they did because they're Disney. Hey, I want to Bug Out said something down the chat earlier, and it was hope keeps us alive. Yes, and that is true with one caveat. I'm gonna build on that. You can hope as much as you want. Nothing's gonna happen unless you actively participate and you take actions to move yourself forward. You can hope as much as you want, but until you're actively participating in the process and you're doing those things every single day to better yourself, hope is the handmaiden of despair.
Well,
you can hope for salvation, but if you don't take active steps for salvation, it ain't gonna happen. All right.
Morning, Red October.
And that's not
brother.
That's
Morning,
not tearing down anything that Bug Out said. It's just adding on to it, and making it realistic. I don't know.
Well, and I'll show you. Hey, you know what? I have my thoughts. It's like if you tell me the word hope, I actually have to catch myself because the first time, when I first hear the word hope or wish, it's just an old saying: hope or wish in one hand and shit in the other, and see which one fills up faster. And so I'm kind of like I can't help but go. But see, that doesn't mean that I'm knocking it. I guess in my brain I've always connected that phrase to don't just sit here and twiddle your thumbs with hopium.
Mm-hmm.
But you hope for the best. Now put your boots on and go to work, son, and make it happen.
It's the joke. It's the joke that ends with the punchline. I sent 3 boats, you dummy.
Yeah. That's why I just, and somebody mentioned, see, that's what I see that little part is we got the presidency, we have the House and the Senate. You say it out loud, people want a dog pile going, it don't matter nothing. It's like, I don't know, I haven't seen that yet. Whenever they get in and we're going to see as it transpires, we're going to see, they fed us a line of shit. Or they're going to be like, oh man, check it out. They're going to work, man. They're trying to get some shit done. Cause I'm going to tell you right now, people like him him having that Joel and Thomas Massey part of the ag. I mean, anybody that follows Thomas Massey, and I don't mean on some social media thing, although he'll say it there, but I'm not, you can listen to him in the hearings. He has no problem calling them straight out. It's like that whole last little CR bill that they passed, to carry through. He had no problem sitting right there telling them all, going, this is all a facade. We do this every time. We need a solution. So, I mean, to me, this dude speaks volumes. And somebody mentioned the Lord of the Rings analogy, and that dude right there will give it. He calls that little pin that the representatives and the senators and shit wear up there, he calls that the ring. That's that ring of power, and if you wear that ring too much, it'll affect your personality.
Hey,
and he calls Washington as Mordor.
Talking about Massey and Joel Salatin. I've been talking with somebody that talks with Joel Salatin on a regular basis. That's the first time after that conversation with this person and finding out what's going on behind the scenes, I've got hope. I seriously, I feel good about it.
There's some real people getting in positions.
Well, you guys don't seem to understand the people. And talking about the Department of Ag specifically, the people, and I've heard other names that they're tapping to be advisors as well. The people that they are tapping are against big ag, and they promote ideas that push entrepreneurship and push true regenerative farming. And if this comes to pass, and it's not a done deal, all right, I can tell you this right now, it's not a done deal. But if it comes to pass and they get these people in place and Massey's in charge of the Department of Ag, that's going to change our country. You talk about a revolution. You know, Bill Mollison, the father of modern permaculture, said that if you can just get 10% of the American population to grow their own food, the big ag industry will collapse. And that's what these people believe. That's what these people, and I'm not saying that they're out to collapse the ag industry. What I'm saying is that they're pushing that type
Get
of
the corporate out.
Yeah, they're pushing that type of thinking and that type of entrepreneurship. If that happens, man, there's going to be people like me and the people in our community that can truly monetize our farms, and we can honestly try to make a living at it. Right now, if I want to sell stuff at a farmer's market, I have out of my greenhouse, I have to have my greenhouse certified by the state. And Kansas is one of the more conservative and open, freedom-minded states, believe it or not.
What? Check that shit out. We got the milkmaid in the house.
Oh, milkmaid!
Somebody's off shift.
You talk about somebody that's out there making a difference and saving lives. That girl right there, she's living it.
That's it. Doing it.
Yeah.
Doing the work. Well, see, I look at the Joel. I look at Thomas Massey. I look at RFK. And as hardcore as he is on pharmaceuticals and the food industry, I mean, that's a good thing. Somebody that's willing to call that shit out. I mean, we're finally going to actually get a voice. Now, I'm just going off of previous. Like, he's ever had no problem saying what he, wanted to say up until now. We'll see what happens when he gets in. But you take that, Elon Musk, by the way, and I heard it was confirmed but he actually sat in on a phone call between Trump and Zelensky.
Oh,
Elon
really?
Musk. Yeah. So then, okay, you don't have him sit in on the conversation unless he's going to be playing a part. And people can go, oh, Elon, over here. Dude, all I know is I look at a person that has, it looks like probably autism at some level. He's a billionaire.
He's got the tism.
Yeah. So, I mean, but he's got money. And so, and he's done. And I get it. You can look at the bad, but like I said, Twitter. Dude, if it wasn't for Twitter, where would we be? And I know that sounds like, and I am not talking about some messiah and saving grace, but there was a person who it's kind of like the Mike Lindell's. People made fun of Mike Lindell, and it's like, really, how did you put your company and your whole savings and everything on the line to fight back? No, okay, then there you go.
Absolutely.
That dude saw Twitter, bought Twitter at a loss. He even said it going, it wasn't worth what he paid for it. He knew it. But that was the only way to maintain freedom of speech. He picked a platform and he got it. And when you look at the Twitter, dude, that dude, they had over 10,000 employees. And he goes in, and that's where the meme come from with the kitchen sink. Mm-hmm. Because it's like throw out everything in the kitchen sink. Well, he went in there, went down to like 2,500 employees. The customer base in the world never saw a hiccup in Twitter. As far as, and I'm talking on the running of it, not the blah, blah, bobbling shit. That's usage. But so you go, wait a minute, how did that work? And it's like, because this dude you get rid of the waste. And when you talk about somebody that's just, we do it. I'm sorry, I'm no rich dude. I suck at finances, but I can even tell you that we had a hurricane over here that destroyed 3 states up the coast that need help, and there's a country that does not belong to us that we sent billions of dollars to. So this isn't like rocket science going, I don't know. And it's like, no. American citizens need help. Non-American citizens got money. There's some shit in the game. Ron Paul, actually milkmaid Ron Paul. There's word that Ron Paul is going to be part of the advisory thing, and Rand Paul. There's a good little coalition of people, and that's, I don't know.
Did you guys catch that the department that they're talking about Elon Musk heading It's called the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE.
That's it.
It's funny. That's also the same name as Dogecoin,
Yeah.
which Musk is a big proponent of.
Hey, there you go. That one there will carry on in infamy. They'll be bringing that up 40 years from now. You remember back then there was this. It's one of those connections.
Yep.
And more to Michigan.
You guys ready to do this without rule of law? Sun's finally starting to come up. I'm looking out the window. I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to start. I have to go outside here in about an hour and a half and take care of the little furry socialists out there. But
I'm good. If everybody in chat, we got 28 people listening.
okay, two things. Number one, Rescue and Rabbit. I got emails last night from JD. Your decks are on the way. So if once you get your deck, Rescue, you won't need me to be here. You'll be able to do this anytime you want. And I'm gonna say this online so that you can be held accountable.
Y'all heard that, right? Y'all just heard that. So he basically is hooking me up so that way he can kick me to the curb, and then I'm on this on my own. Ah, dang.
Well, if I'm not hit, what happens if I get hit by a tractor walking out my front?
We're
gate?
gonna go hunt that tractor down and make it pay.
Well, here I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this online so that everybody in chat can hold you accountable. Once you get those cards, you need to go to the W.R.O.L site. You need to sign up to be an affiliate, because the whole reason JD gives these cards out is to advertise the game and everything. And if you're going to be doing the without rule of law stuff on your lives, and you're going to drive people to actually buy the decks, dude, you should get a little compensation for it. And he's all about that. He's all about it. So once you get the deck, go sign up to be an affiliate. That way, if anybody buys a deck of cards because of what you did, you'll get a. It's only $5, but hey, if you can make $100, 100 extra bucks a year off of it, you know, it's $100 you didn't have at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
So you guys in chat, keep him honest and make sure he does this. You ride his butt, okay?
What are you lost about, Milkmaid? Why are you lost?
Oh, that's just a natural state for her most of the times. You know this. Come on, we've known her long enough.
Well, she said she just came off shift too, so she's
Probably tired as hell, man.
She's probably not even really cognitive.
I know I wouldn't be. Hell no.
I don't know what kind of night it was, but you just, that term coming off shift, that could be like, okay, well, anything is on the table.
Good. And those EMTs, man, they work that's some jacked up shifts too. I've worked 12/12s. And I don't know what she's working, but normally it's 12/12 with the EMT and stuff. That's hard, man. That is extremely hard. Or actually, they do like 2 days here locally.
24-hour shifts.
Yeah, 24 or 48 hours. Yeah, that blows. Okay, so in the chat, is there? You just flipped me off.
We got the finger. We got the number one approval.
I know I'm number one, Milkmaid. Thank you for sharing that.
We number one.
This is why we love her, right? Oh, 24-hour shifts. That's rough, man. That is rough. Did that when I was on sea duty. Okay, in chat, is there anybody in chat that does not know what World Without Rule of Law cards are? If you don't know what it is, just put a 1 in there, and I will explain it to you. All right. If not, we're gonna go ahead and start. Oh yeah, we had this conversation. Angela, actually, it's lemonade. It's lemonade this morning. Angela and I had this conversation yesterday. So I took my bourbon and poured it. Well, here, I'll show you. I took my bourbon and I poured it into a nice crystal decanter. And she was making fun of me, and she said, do you feel sophisticated now? I was like, sure. I got tired of drinking my bourbon out of a plastic squeeze bottle, so I put it in glass, and now I'm drinking it out of an old spaghetti jar. So yeah, I am completely, I'm sophisticated now.
You are off the range, man.
What makes it better is I had my overalls on when we had this conversation. I'm sophisticated.
She fire.
Okay.
My coffee cup. Did you see my coffee cup that I got?
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. I like that.
That is cool.
you need to get a whole bunch of different ones and do like Nick Freitas does, and he's got, whenever he's talking about something, he's got one that are themed, and he'll hold them up as he's done talking.
Yeah. I wanted to do that. I was thinking about, because my coffee with rescue kind of thing, and kind of do my little coffee cup collection and just kind of every day have a different coffee cup. What's up, Bryce and Peace?
Okay, I saw some ones in there. So what World Without W.R.O.L cards are? It's a.
I'm gonna put you full screen for a moment so people can see
Okay,
the
so
box.
everybody can see. See if I can do it. There we go. So it's a deck of cards. I'm not going to call it a card game because even though there's some rules, quote unquote, that you really don't win the game. You really don't win it. The only way you win it is if you survive the apocalypse when it really happens, right? So what it is, it's a set of 300 cards. There's 10 different categories, covering everything from oppressive government, terrorism, natural disasters, pandemic, civil war, World War, etc. And what they do is they provide moral and ethical scenarios for you to talk about, and why they're good. Number one is they get you thinking. They get the gray matter warmed up and get you thinking. It's a great way to start a conversation. If you're looking to build a community and you meet a group of people, you get around a campfire. We use these. We use these right now, and we use the precursor Conflicted at Midwest Preparedness Festival around the campfire Friday and Saturday, and we still do. And it starts the conversation. You get to feel out how people are. You get to vet people. When there's a little bit of alcohol flowing, the crazy comes out. Yeah. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Look, Coffee said, wait, I have to think, I'm out.
It's too early, Coffee, isn't it? No, but it's a tool. It's a tool we can use in our preps and in our lives to help build community and vet out crazy. Just plain and simple. All right. So here's what I've done. I have chosen one card brand. I have no idea what these cards say. So some of them may suck. I have no idea. But I chose one from each category randomly, and we'll just run through all 10 of them and see what happens. See if you guys can survive the apocalypse. I doubt some of you guys. So rescue. Let's be honest. Some of these guys, we need to know what guns they're carrying and what stuff they have. So after the raiders come get them, we know who to kill, right? So we can get their let's be honest. Prove me wrong, people. Oh, you know what? Oh, put Milkmates. The
Which one? The last one?
The LOL one. Yeah, put that one up. So rescue knows my crazy when alcohol comes out. Poor dudes listen to all my shit. Okay. I'm going to tell you a story. I've told this story before, but I'm going to share it. We were playing the old Conflicted game, and it was me and my buddy, our wives, and his wife's cousin. And his wife's cousin and his wife were very liberal. And so we started playing this game, and all the answers were touchy-feely hippie question answers, right? Well, the ladies were drinking a little bit of wine. They got about a bottle and a half through a bottle of wine, and questions started coming up about kids. Dude, it was like, damn, lady, where did you come from? The mama bear came out, and they're like, I'll shoot in the face and I'll cut their pieces off. Like, whoa, where did you come from? So, and it goes to show you what Milkmaid said is 100% true. You get a little bit of alcohol flowing, and people's inner monologue starts becoming the outer monologue, right?
Yeah, you let that little control buffer down, and all of a sudden that unfiltered stuff comes out, and you're like, what? And it's like, oh yeah, that was the alcohol removes the filters.
So Tuck, yeah, a little bit of SHTF role playing. Yeah, probably. Well,
it's a scenario thing. So it's kind of like, if this and this, then what would you do? This, or this? And so it's kind of, and then it makes you think of a situation that you might not have been thinking of. You're thinking of, well, the grocery store's closed, I'll do this. But this kind of throws things a little bit more sideways and makes you kind of think about those little weird moments. How would you handle that?
Okay, as I remember, people, as I read these scenarios off, put yourself into the scenario. Don't think about what you would do right now. Think about the situation as the card says, because some of them are in the future, and so you need to put yourself in there, and you need to do a little bit of outside your body type of thinking. Okay, all right. First one: economic collapse. Oh, dang it. Okay, no, let's do this.
Did you
Economic
screw up
collapse.
already?
No. This is one of the things they do in each one of the. Well, I don't know if it's in every category. There's one card. Make up your own scenario. Okay, and how you're gonna live through it. So let's do that. Right. Let's do that. I think that's really great considering everything that's happening in our country right now. You know,
Later,
there's a very
Russ and
distinct
Pete.
possibility.
Make a good day of it.
Yeah, there's a distinct possibility that the powers that be in the next 2.5 months are going to try to crash the economy. The Fed's already started talking about changing interest rates now, and they're lowering their interest rates, which Angela and I were talking. It sounds like a good thing. We shall see. Trump is a big person on tariffs. Okay, let's put this out to the let's put this out to the chat.
Hey, morning, William.
If Trump starts putting tariffs on the Chinese goods coming into this country, or a war starts, we're going to see massive increases in prices to the point that it could collapse the economy. How dependent are you on these cheap Chinese goods, and are you able to weather higher prices for these things? Have you created a backup plan? No, Rescue's thinking.
I'm that kind of fits into my, in a way, just kind of the way I feel about all of it. You know, it's, you got to get out from the system. It's the little wants. Do you think you really need that? It's all these little needs, but when you really break these items down, you're feeding the very system that you sit around all day griping about, by buying all these little items. And to be honest, and this is going to sound kind of harsh, but it's like people even fall for this buy local shit. And if you really look at some of this buy local shit, Bob just went down and he did an Amazon order from China, and now he hangs the shit on his shelf, and you're thinking buy local because you walked into a local store that you're buying local, but you're not buying local. Bob just decided to get his Amazon list and put it on a shelf. His shit's still coming from over there. It's literally, if you want, like, if you got a chair in your living room and it's not working, don't just throw it out and go buy a new one. You just fed the system. Instead, either try to fix that chair yourself or find somebody to help fix it. And you know what? Maybe it's time to sit in the chair that has a piece of duct tape on the seat of it instead of going and buying a new chair. It's those little things. It's, oh, wow, you know, these shoes are sure scuffed up. I'm gonna go get, but you know, I'm not gonna go buy those high dollar Nike or Adidas or any of those. I'm just gonna buy it. It doesn't make a shit. You still went into the same corporate system and bought the things. If you paid $20 for those shoes or $200 for these, that money still went into the corporate system. So you still feed the beast, whether it was kibbles and bits or a T-bone steak. You still fed the beast.
Yeah.
And so that's, to me, I try to do that anyway, though. It's waste, and I've tried to start seeing that as waste. You know, food. You can go through snack food left and right, boxes of Little Debbie's left and right, and go, what's the big deal? Okay, well, wait a minute, if we just spent 2 hours talking about the economy, where did that money go? That money went into that corporate system. Well, what for? You wanted something sweet, so you couldn't have just homemade some sweet stuff to kind of, but you really love those Little Debbies. So then what the fuck is it? Do you want the Little Debbies or do you want to fight the system? You know, I mean, at some point you've got to, and I think that's the hardest part for probably most people is making that call. Are you willing to drop? Because it's so brand orientated. We don't realize it, but really we're brand orientated. It's like, look, a coat. You tell somebody you're going to give them one of those oak trees or something, and they're like, ooh, I'm sorry, how about just a coat to keep you warm? Ought to make you go, yes, thank you. But no, the brand name. Pair of shoes on your feet. Well, there's these. Oh man, I don't know. Look, those are Nikes, dude, from 1997. What? Oh yeah, I'll give you 1,000. You see, it's that mentality. I don't know. Anyway, I probably just babbled way too much. We got
No, you made some very good points. Somebody down in the chat earlier said, "What type of Chinese goods are we talking about?" All the Chinese goods. You know, if a war happens, nothing that's made in China is going to make it into our system, right? And if you go out and you look at what you buy, if you truly look at the origins of this stuff, you'd be shocked at how much stuff you inadvertently buy that's made in China. You know,
morning, money.
and let's be honest. Let's be 100% honest. Prices are going to go up when Trump comes into office. Prices are going to go up because it takes time to drag manufacturing back to the United States and get it made in America. And then Milkmaid said something about is it virtue signaling? Are we virtue signaling by trying to buy local? I'm going to say no. If you really try hard and you understand where your goods are made, you can buy local. And even if you're buying something that's made in China and you're buying it local, instead of me driving to Topeka to buy something that I can buy locally, even if I pay a little bit more, that tax money is going back into my local community. And even though it's theft, it's still going to benefit by being in my community versus being in Topeka. You know, I had to stick that in there. You know, I had to do that, Rescue.
Oh, I know. That's why
Come
I
on,
could
man.
get it. I was wondering if you were going to be able to actually finish that without saying it. I didn't think so.
But so be aware of what you're doing and start. If it looks like we're gonna not have China stuff and we need it because they don't make it here, start stacking it now. Buy those little widgets and things that you need to make your household run. Buy it now and keep it on hand. Tech says this kind of thing is more the concern of the minds of the middle class, right? Because we don't have deep pockets to insulate us against everything that is going on.
And that's a good point right there. The meds and prescriptions. So much of that crap we
You
get
know what?
shipped in here.
You know what though? You know how you insulate yourself that way? You go to one of my videos and you click on the Jace Medical link, and you go there and you can buy 365 days worth of medications, right? And so if you do that, plus you get the medications from your doctor, you can potentially have 1 year plus 90 days worth of medications. All right. And is that going to solve your problem if it's a long-term crisis? No, it's not. But what that's going to do, that's going to give you 1 year plus 90 days to find natural alternatives and start implementing those into your lifestyle. Right. So everybody go out there. If you're looking for prescription drugs, go to Jace Medical and do it. It's a very simple process. In fact, I'm getting ready to do it with another medication that I'm on, and I was extremely happy. Say I get into leather goods making. I get leather from Argentina, the needles from China, absolutely.
That's
Milkmaid's 100% correct. So we were looking at building or making foraging pouches. Have you seen those where they fold up into a little tiny wallet-sized thing that hangs on your belt? You pop it open, and it pops this pouch open, and you can use it to pick berries, and you stick stuff in there. And so it's like a leather outside with a canvas case or a canvas bag. We decided not to do it because you can buy one of these things from Alibaba for like $3.25, and it was going to cost us $26 to get the leather, get the canvas. Nobody. This is so wild. Nobody in America makes the clips and everything that you use to hold like the things like this, things like this, and the snap tights. Nobody in America makes those, so you have to buy them from overseas, and they're expensive. And there's a company we found that makes them, and they are way expensive. Just like price is completely out of the market.
Well, see, that to me is that was some of the slow boiling kind of that's been taking place, over the decades is we've, and I don't know, I see it, but I just see it as in a natural perpetuation of things because we've become business orientated. Then corporations kicked in, and all of a sudden shareholders. Well, and it's common knowledge. Nobody wants to see the competition, so they try to take out the competition. Well, if you do that on a like an international type thing, then next thing you know, you end up with a country that's depending on all outside sources. And that's kind of where we've gotten. We went from founding the shit, and I still, because hell, I grew up next to Bethlehem Steel. I remember watching them make steel, and all of a sudden, not no more. We import it, and it's everything, and it's even like the little things like that, the buttons, the fasteners, you know, because it gets mass produced under slave labor. That's another thing I want to make a point. I think everybody, when you point out China, be sure and point out that the shit's off of slave labor. It's not like that country is doing some awesome shit. There's slave labor that they're making produce this shit. And they live in such atrocious conditions, they literally have to be prevented from unaliving themselves because its life's so miserable. Like they literally take safeguards so that they won't unalive themselves so they can keep going to work every day.
Suicide nets on the Apple iPhone factories. Yeah. Hey, Michigan Outpost, the way that Jace does their prescriptions, you have to have an active prescription, and you have to take a photo of your bottle label, and they have doctors on staff that look at it and say, okay, this is legitimate and this is something we can do. No, they do not do any narcotics. They don't do any narcotics. It's just prescription meds of the non-narcotic type. Okay, you guys ready for the next question?
Right.
Okay,
let's
so
do it.
This is terrorism, violence, and terrorism, violence, and thought crimes. Oh, that's going to be a big one. Oh my goodness. In November 2027, in Salt Lake City, Utah, a coworker has been accused of engaging in hate speech outside of the workplace, and several employees are demanding their dismissal. You're responsible for making the decision about their employment. Do you terminate your coworker to maintain a harmonious work environment, or protect your coworker's right to free speech and risk creating tension among your team? Guys doing hate speech. It's hate speech. You gonna fire him or you not? What
Nope.
happens if all the blue-haired people in your office start throwing a hissy fit?
They can be fired, and then we can have the stress-free work environment. Yeah, see, I don't even understand how people. What is hate speech? Because you don't like it, that's what makes it hate speech. It's words, It. So yeah, I personally, I would defend it. I wouldn't fire him. I wouldn't even entertain it. Matter of fact, if it got brought up, I'd probably laugh.
Coffee asked, where was he doing hate speech? He was not doing it in the office. He was a YouTube content creator, and he was saying something that the blue-haired, face-piercing people did not like, and they were very upset about it.
He said men shouldn't play in women's sports, and coworkers got mad.
Oh my God, what a he hates women. At that point, he hates women. I'd fire him. I'd fire the guy. Seriously, we need to get that type of thought crime out of the system. I don't think anybody. Okay, so yes, some people are on this question. Some people are still talking about the drugs.
Yeah, well, and Rabbit, what is hate speech? Because it does. Anytime they mention that word hate speech, they're trying to introduce that phrase into our culture, just like they've done with other things. Democracy. Now they want to make it sound like the country's a democracy because they just say the word when really it's a republic with a democratic election process.
Oh,
but
don't get me started, man. I'm doing a video after we're done here. I'm doing a video about that very thing, about democracy.
Well, they use it. It's just like that hate speech. They're slowly repeating that word, so it somehow will create a foothold for that word.
Mhm.
Because when you really just break down that hate speech, so that's just shit you don't like. Well, hell, you
Right.
hear that? I'm sorry, Biden got up there with his damn little Darth Vader looking backdrop. I'm sorry, I didn't like that speech. I'm not going to call it a hate speech. I'm just going to say that was a disgruntled ass old man that had a microphone. There you go. But see, they're trying to transform everything into this hate speech so that then if they say something and you counter it, they can just label you that way.
So Coffee says if he was not calling for active violence, it's free speech. Absolutely. So words aren't violence. I'm sorry. Anything I say is not comparable to me walking up and punching you in the nose. Plain and simple.
Hey,
Right.
Mr. Metal.
And same with hate crimes. You know, if I have racist malice in my heart, or I have emotional malice, somebody was doing something bad. What's the difference? If I kill somebody, what's the difference? Is the crime worse because of what I was thinking? No, it's not. The person is still dead. You punish the person for what they did, not all this other stuff.
Okay, I got to go here because it's kiss off. And so if Big Sis says something, I got to call her ass.
Okay.
So, okay, kiss off. It's hate speech when you hurt people. What about my vocal cords would hurt you? So vibrations coming out of this pie hole located on my head, what harm comes from those sound waves coming out? See, this is where it gets. This is just because you don't like something doesn't mean it hurts you. Your feelings don't matter. Well, how does that phrase go? Facts don't care about your feelings. So
if I tell my wife that the outfit she's wearing makes her look ugly and it hurts her feelings, is that hate speech?
yeah, see, that's not. See, you gotta be careful to fall into that hate word because what that really would have just been rude, or it would have been socially unacceptable. It would have been, not very attractive to say that. But to jump all the way to the word hate, see, that's programming there. That's that subliminal little trying to get you into hate. Because if you just tell somebody, man, you're some damn useless piece of shit. I'm sorry, I've been called just about every name in the book. Matter of fact, it'd be kind of cool after 60 years if somebody could invent something new, but it's the same shit. And I kind of, for a moment, I might even be shocked. And then I go, wait, I was called that 20 years ago. So it's not hate. I mean, my God, look at the stupid shit I've heard on here. It's not hate. It's just, you can let it get to you or not.
But I think it all boils down to what Mike Tyson said, that the internet has allowed people to say stuff that would get them punched in the face, and it's emboldened people, right? And people get hurt, they get butt hurt, and they conflate butt hurt with true hurt. All right, you guys ready to go to the next one? Yes or no?
I don't know. Are y'all ready
falls
to move
after
on?
harassment and can be. Well, if somebody's promoting violence, then yeah, that's a no. Okay,
What's up, Craig DeHunter?
the next one. I dislike sticks and stones. They can break my bones. Yes, if you throw them hard enough, they can. This next one is emergency preparedness. And for anybody that doesn't know, the emergency preparedness category in Without Rule of Law is a nuts and bolts thing. These are questions about where you are on your preps.
Morning,
And so
Rocksteady. Morning, Michelle.
There's nothing really moral about it, right? It's just, have you done this? Okay. Okay, here we go.
Oh my
Have
God,
you identified your local food producers in case of a logistical breakdown that leads to prolonged empty grocery shelves? When was the last time you went to the local farmers market to make friends with them? Oh, that's a good question. Have we identified people locally that produce food? Are you guys done that?
She actually stopped by yesterday, our little store.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's what there's people in my area, and the best way I can kind of associate it, which you have my address, so you could Google it and then you'd see what I
Mhm.
was talking about. So you could say that where I live, we'll just say it's a subdivision, but it's not a subdivision by the definition that you're probably thinking of, like, the street, stop signs, house. This it's like about 400 people stretched out over some good space,
Mhm.
but there's only one entrance into this area off of the farmer market road. So we have a little store, and these past 4 years have really put a lot of focus. That store used to just kind of come and go as a convenience. After the last 4 years, now this is where we have farm raised meat that's actually now, as he gets the cow slaughtered, he has the meat up there. We have vegetables. People around the area take vegetables and produce and stuff up there to for sale. It's really, it's kind of, that's the one positive thing I can see around me from the Biden era, is it got these people around here to at least collectively start. People planted gardens the last 4 years. We got more gardens. We got chickens. We got
Mhm.
people. I give eggs away. We got other people that charge $3 a dozen. It's whatever, but they're always swapping eggs. So there's been a shift around here. I don't know about other people.
Hey, Milkmaid asked me a question about how do we go about identifying these people, which is a fantastic question to ask concerning this specific idea. Grumpy, how would one approach getting those resources from local providers of goods in times of severe distress? Okay, guys, here's the deal. Here's the deal. When things go south, it's too late to build these relationships because people are going to be thinking about their own survival. The time to build these relationships is right now. I'm a huge advocate of CSAs, community supported agriculture, and this is where you basically you how do I, you basically buying shares in a farmer's operation. You're paying them on the front end so they can get seed and plants, and they can grow food, and you get food from them throughout the year. All right, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, go to your local grocery. If you live in a small town, we've got one here in the town that's about 17 miles north of us that they buy everything regionally, right? Well, except for the big name brands, but all their fresh produce and all their meat is regional, and so they've already got the existing connections with these regional producers, and they bring it into their grocery stores. Yes, you pay a little bit more. That goes back to the whole Chinese good thing, and if you can't get it, yes, you're going to pay more, but you've already gone through the process of vetting people that are providing with your food. You've already made these relationships. Go to your farmers markets and talk to these people and get to know them. Some of these local producers, are more than happy to sell directly to people. That's how we get our raw milk locally. That's how we can't produce enough eggs to do our freeze drying. So we get most of our eggs from people in our community because we've already created those connections, right? So that's how you do it. You start working now. And again, the good thing about Trump being in the presidency now, he's bought us 4 more years of time and space to do the
Well,
things
and
we
and
need.
it's 4 years to focus on keep correcting. And I will say, because like Monty brought up the iPhone, if it was made in America, how much it'd be. Just like the groceries, yes, they would. There's gonna be, and that's probably the one thing I can say. I won't say that I'm worried about, but I'm cautious about is the populace going to be able to survive that? Because there's going to be a wave. You just can't get away from that. There's going to be a rise in the cost as places come here and manufacture, and as people try to do things here, just because of the way we are. And this is going to, you know what? This is our own hole. We dug the hole because we got complacent and we got greedy, and we wanted the shiny new stuff, and we were willing to pay those prices. So we literally, every time we bought the fishing pole, the bass boat, the four-wheeler, the new computer, the new vehicle, whatever that was, we sat there and every shovel, every time we've done that, we've been digging a hole.
Yep.
And so it's going to take a little bit, and it's going to be time to get dirty to climb up out of this hole. And we're going to get mud on us, and shit's going to suck, and people are going to not like it. But that's the only way to get back to where we're self-sustaining.
Hey, I got to step away from the camera for just 1 second. I had a puppy sitting here at the side door looking at me very forlorn, wanting inside. So I've got to go let him in. Give me 1 second.
Okay. In is better than going out. It was like waiting to go out. That means the timer's ticking before you get the surprise. And you got to surprise.
Come on, darling. Money crates. Go.
Hey, morning, Firefly. And so just in case I've missed anybody that came in, good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it's working for you on this ball of dirt.
Poor Freya, she could not get in the door fast enough.
It's raining out there, man.
Yeah,
she don't want none of that.
Oh, now she's sitting on my feet all wet. Oh, okay. Are we good on the whole building connections and getting and securing your own food? The basic answer to that question is grow your own food.
Oh yeah, big time. Well, and I'll tell you, I'm just going to say this openly, like around here, so you just kind of got to see if this applies to your area. But, you can kind of just drive around, and if you see the patch of people, the guy that has the cattle, or you see a guy that has some kind of farm animals, you might pull in and just start a friendly conversation and say, hey, do you ever sell like a quarter or a half, or, do you ever process? And you might find that there's actually local farmers that be willing to make a deal where hey, you want to buy a quarter of the cow? Okay, you buy a quarter, they're going to buy a quarter, they're going to buy a quarter. Next thing you know, there's the cow, and the guy takes the cow and gets it slaughtered, and everybody gets some meat. There's little things that can happen like that. You just kind of we need to get our communication skills up so that we can communicate with people and not look at everybody as in some blue-haired lefty that's screaming at us. Yep. We need to go back to being Americans, and you actually go approach somebody in a respectful, calm way. They get stupid, you walk away. But you might find out that people are wheel and deal with chickens, they'll wheel and deal with the eggs, they'll wheel and deal with your cattle, sheep, lambs, all the good stuff. You just got to maybe drive around and observe it. And just always remember, though, those people might be paranoid. So when you approach people, just remember they might be paranoid and kind of go, wait, what are you looking for? Who knows? But
yep.
Man, now is the time to reach out and kind of get somebody that you can kind of reach out to within range of you in case shit just goes south. Don't forget the COVID thing. Remember, we had dozens and almost hundreds of freighters sitting out in like the Gulf and off the coast and shit. So just like that. It's not like they can literally just stop taking a boat in, and that just stops all flow right there. What's up, Mike? Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival.
Okay, Angela's over here off screen, and she is reminding me that JD gave us the authorization to give away a couple of decks of cards. So let's give away a deck of cards today. Rescue, you come up with an idea how we're going to give it away. All right, you come up with it. And while you're doing that, I'm going to read the next card. All right.
Hey, so Milkmaid, get you some rest, ma'am. Thanks for what you do.
Milky, we love you. Take care of yourself, okay? The next card is one of the new American Civil War scenarios. How close are we to this? Okay. In June 2032, you and your group are on the brink of starvation in Albuquerque, New Mexico, due to a civil war. You come across a group of survivors who have hoarded a large amount of food and water. They offer to trade these supplies for your weapons and equipment. Do you give up your means of protection for a chance to survive, or hold on to your weapons and risk death and starvation? or perhaps you hold on to your weapons and attack the other group for their supplies. Ooh, moral question. Let's see who's really cutthroat here.
Redo that one.
It's 2032. You're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Civil War's going on, and you are starving to death. You and your group are starving to death. You run across a group of people that have supplies that will ensure your survival for the time being. They're willing to trade your weapons for their food. Do you get rid of your weapons and take their food, or do you keep your weapons and attack them and take their food by force?
I could trade my weapons for food. I mean, it's going to be an individual piece of lead at a time, but I'm sorry, that just keeping it in the question format type thing. I'm sorry, but you're fixing to get dusted. I'm gonna feed my group.
Yeah. Anybody else? Let's see. Rabbit, hell no, they ain't getting. Hell no, they getting the weapons unless they have firing pins in my pocket. Huckleberry says attack. He yelled that stuff.
Yeah.
Negan said, "Have you met Lucille?" Blackbird, renegotiate. I think out of everybody's answers right now, that's probably the best answer so far, is to reframe the discussion. Sandy says, keep my weapons and use the weapons to find food. What did Bug Out say? Oh yeah, Bug Out said, have you met Lucille? So I think that correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm reading the room wrong, Rescue. I'm thinking everybody wants to keep their weapons.
That's kind of survival tool.
Blue Butterfly says take it. Hudson Valley, never trade something you can be used a weapon against you and yours. Right? Absolutely. I think that's the linchpin in this whole conversation.
Well, and you're giving up your defense. It's kind of that whole. It's kind of like, hey, if you'll tell us the location, we'll let you go. Really? They've gone that far. You really think they're going to let you go? And it's kind of like that. So you're going to renegotiate. You're going to give up your weapons for some food. So when you give over your weapons, what keeps them from going, hi, you're so full of it. Get the hell out of here. And now you don't have the weapons or the food. So if things have reached that level, I guess you could say I'm an ugly person, but all I can say is those around me are what's going to survive.
Okay,
outside that circle, it's not my concern.
Here's a follow-up question to that, and I think this is where that card's going. Okay, they propose this answer to you. Give us your weapons, you can have our food. Do you go from zero to murder? Do you say hell no, you can't have our guns, and you start attacking them? Is that I think at the base of that card, that is the question. Is where do you go once that unacceptable solution is given to you? Where do you go?
You can't really. It's hard to answer that like that, because it's like if you're standing there looking at somebody and you're kind of telling by the posture that they're full of shit. I mean, I don't know really how to translate that because it's just been a life skill adapted over time, but you can kind of read this body language and the facial tones and stuff, and it's like full of shit. And I just don't think that if you're in that peak of a situation, if things have gotten there, I don't think you're going to run across somebody with your best intentions at their heart. I think you're going to run into somebody else that has their best intentions at heart, and you're fixing to have oil and water mix. One has guns, the other has food. And if the person with food is saying, well, we'll give you the food if you give us our guns, it's like, yeah, you kind of picked the wrong tool, homie. I mean, because with the other tool, you can take the food. Now, I would try not to be in a cruel way, but see, it's just, man, if you put me in a black and white situation like that, if this is the group that's depending on me and I'm connected to these people are going to eat before anybody else. It's kind of like my home. I love my neighbor. I don't want any ill wishing on them. But my kids, my grandkids, my family's going to eat and be warm and dry and have the comforts before anybody else does. So if I take this scenario and I just expand it, to me it's the same thing. If this is the group that I'm running with and shit's hitting the fan, then this is my family. So whatever it takes to take care of my family, and good, bad, or ugly, but you got to do what you got to do.
So somebody downstream in the chat or upstream, depending on how you're looking at it, said once civility's gone, it's all over. And I think that's the key to the answer to this question is civility. You know, I like the renegotiate answer because we reframe it and say, look, and this is my opinion. We tell this other group, look, we don't want bloodshed. We're not giving you our weapons. Let's come to another agreement. Right. And if they don't want to do that, then you walk away and you look for other answers. I'm not an advocate of taking other people's stuff.
No, wait a minute. Why would, okay, but if you're at this moment, if you walk away, then you're leaving a group behind that knows your capabilities. And now you're going to have to look over your shoulder.
Well, and you know what? These are risks we need to take, but you let them know we will kill you. Or I'm sorry, I'd probably just demonetize your entire stream by saying that.
Anyway, I don't care.
We will unalive you, and then we will take your stuff. We do not want to take your stuff. We want to come to an equitable agreement, but if you cross us, we will unalive you. Not, we'll kill you. I don't care if your stream's demonetized. Sorry.
I'm not monetized anyway, dude. Every stream I do, I get copyrights and I get emails telling me you can't be monetized. It's like, no shit, man. Can we just stop with the notifications and filling my inbox up?
But I think everybody's in agreement. We don't give up our the way to protect ourselves.
And you guys see, you're doing what I do sometimes. You're reading too far into it. You just got to kind of stick with the general version of the question, because it's like, you know, if you're in this situation, you already ought to have preps, and this is one of those general questions. Just kind of run with the questions, and then you kind of see where you fall.
Well, hold on, that is me running with the question.
I'm saying their answers. They're like, you know, there's no more animals left, you know, or it's if you've prepped, you wouldn't be hungry. You can always find.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So this is going with just the basic question. You're here, you now come into this, and then you kind of go with that. Because I'm with you. I mean, if you've been paying attention or you're kind of taking care of yourself at all, then you're not out here roaming around starving to death looking for food, because you kind of went, maybe we ought to have some food put up. Maybe we need to monitor our intake.
Well, and okay, maybe I'm being a little Pollyannish here. If there were still options left, I would walk away from it. I would not give them my weapons. I would not attack them, because the idea of taking somebody else's stuff is not what I want to be. That's not the person I want to be. You know, and Tuck makes a great point. You know, this one thing.
It doesn't mention that in the question, so you kind of gotta.
I really wish Milkmaid was still in here, because we did Conflicted about a year ago, and she was on the panel, and every single answer that she gave was, it depends. And quite frankly, it is very situational.
Well, yeah, because that's what I've always tried to tell you when you get like that question. Okay, well, first, how did we get there? What's the environment as we're coming across this group? What does that entail? You know, I mean, you do in some movie scenario where you've been walking in a line for 3 days and you got people dehydrating, and now you top the hill and there's this, you know, Mad Max little compound. I mean, so I'm bad about reading way into it and being so, okay, wait, but I do that with life, you know, I mean.
Okay, you guys ready for the next one? This one is government. And this one just changed for us recently, last week.
There you go. Hold on.
Okay.
She was listening. She just ain't here. She said it does depend. By the way, she said to tell Yoda hi and stuff.
Okay, I will.
Matter of fact, she said that about the time you were reading it, and as you were reading it, then Angela goes behind you into the door back there, and I was like, I don't want to interrupt. Okay.
Yeah, she's kind of grumpy in the morning.
Man, most people do whenever you get nudged and woke up, and it's like, man, I got to start this shit day. Morning, TJ.
Okay, This one is government. In September 2025 in Austin, Texas, a new law has been passed to address growing income equality, confiscating all property beyond a certain size. Your family's multi-generational estate is at risk. You comply with the law, losing your ancestral home, or take extreme measures to keep your property within your family. How far would you go to protect your property? Property, not your family, your property.
Well, would you, okay, so this is actually happening in Texas, not technically in Austin, but up around in that area. And it's a land deal because of the watering for Dallas and Fort Worth. So Dallas and Fort Worth are having a water shortage. So the state is actually looking at a long-term family property that's big acreage, but they're thinking of purchasing that from the family so that then they can dam up the river to then create a lake to create a water containment thing for Dallas Fort Worth. It's just kind of weird when you're reading it. I'm like, holy shit, that's actually going down here as we speak.
Are you positive? Yeah.
Man, you know what? See, that's one of those things, I guess. Because sure, there's the macho side of me that says, shit, no, man, I'm defending my ground. That's it. But you know what, dude? And I guess I'm like a milkmaid. It depends. I mean, where is this really coming from? Does it look like this was kind of like one of these backroom kind of laws that got pushed in? Or is this like the general consensus type that backed this law? Because to be honest, if it was a general consensus, like, yeah, this really felt like, no, most of the people in the state are okay with that, I would just fucking move. I would fucking move. You're not going to win. You can, you just going to, it's kind of like the Hatfields and McCoy. It started over a pig. How many people died over that? And at the end of the day, the pig wasn't even around no more. And yet there were family members that were gone. So it'd be like that. It's like, so what do? You got 40 family members. Do you just get all 40 of them unalived and then they take the land? Or do you lose 20 before you finally go, oh, shit, man, they're killing us all. I guess we ought to give them the land. You might as well just pony up to it, dude. If you're going against the state, you might as well go find another place.
Well, and there's people, Rabbit, no macho side, they'll get scorched earth, and I'll be somewhere else. Here's the deal. Here's my thought on this. Up until about 2 months ago, I'm not sure how I would answer this question.
I'll find you the story, TJ. I'll try to put it.
I'm not sure how I would answer this question. But 2 months ago, I had to put a pistol to the back of my dog's head and pull the trigger. They're not getting my shit. Period. I've sacrificed enough. They're not getting it.
But see, so do you just stand there and keep shooting until you ain't got no more?
I am too old and fat to run away anymore. So yeah.
I guess I could see it. I'm kind of, there's something about that, you live to fight another day kind of thing.
I know. Hey, listen, I am not by any means making the argument that is a logical answer to this, to the question. I'm not making that argument whatsoever. I'm just saying it is what it is.
Yeah. TJ, I will post you a link to it. And Huckleberry, what Grumpy read was a scenario, but what I was bringing up is, no, we have a real legitimate legal deal going down over water stuff. With some long-time family land up there just dammed up to create a water resource for Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Nobody has the right to take my stuff that I've worked hard for.
Well, no, but you just have to, it's almost like, okay, I guess I view it like, I'm going to defend my house. But if I had my wife, my son, my grandson, my daughter, my granddaughter here, and all of a sudden, dude, there's like a dozen MRAPs that show up out there. I got choppers overhead, probably about the best thing I can do would be to try to tell them to run out the fucking back door and find somewhere, and I'll hold them off. But I wouldn't want to barricade myself up and then go, nope, we're going down until the last one of us is breathing. I get the gist of it, and I've read the older battles, and I get where sometimes that's even probably been successful. But for the most part, all that ends up with, you're just unalived and they take your shit anyway. But if I can save my family, hey man, you might take me out, but at least something left of my legacy is still here. Otherwise, what was the point of doing any of this? If you don't protect any kind of legacy, any future in your lineage, then what was it for? What's the fight for it to begin with if it's not for them? So that's why I guess I would just have to do that. At some point, I would make the call to evacuate them and hold the wolves at bay, kind of thing. I mean,
Huckleberry's being a little preemptive. He's building a killdozer and taking it to him. Well, and you know what? That's the point we've reached.
Well, see, I could see that. I could see walking away from the land and then coming back and being more clandestine and being a shadow nuisance, going covert kind of thing. But that you just got to stand there, and it's like, man, that's what it's like. If you're gonna, I don't know. I've seen people talk a line of shit and be badass. I mean, it's a jail story, but I'll just tell you real quick. I watched a dude lifted weights one-on-one. He would thump heads left and right, maybe even 2 to 3. He would thump heads, son. He would go down in the rec yard. He was throwing them. But you know what? One day they realized that 2 or 3 of them couldn't do it. So what they did is they waited till he was in that 8x10, and then they got about 8 that all went bum rushing that 8x10. And all of a sudden, homeboy wasn't as badass as he had been out on that yard when he had room to move, and there was only 2 or 3. All of a sudden, there was 8. And you have 8x10 space to work in, and things didn't turn out so good.
Well, and the whole killdozer thing. When they don't give us reasonable options, reasonable men become unreasonable, right? And even with everything that's transpired the last week, we need to start thinking about being unreasonable because of things exactly like this. Trump's going to give us some space. There's no guarantee that this stuff's not going to come back with a vengeance, and it will come back with a vengeance if they manage to derail Trump's agenda and do all that stuff. They're going to come after the people that supported him with a vengeance. So you guys need to think about becoming unreasonable. Okay, next one. You notice how I said that all happy after that very depressing, dark, freaking topic. Bank run. Okay. April 2029. In the heart of Miami, Florida, you're a CEO of a major bank in a predicament. The government has offered a bailout to your failing institution. Accepting it means ceding control and implementing austerity measures that could lead to job losses. Refusing it could mean bankruptcy and even a greater number of job losses. What choice do you make? Do you get in bed with the government and hopefully save some jobs? Or do you say no and go at your own with the real possibility that you will go under?
So I'm deciding on if my business is going to survive or not.
Mm-hmm. And apparently, according to the card, getting into the business is the only way to guarantee that you will survive. I'm sorry, getting in bed with the government.
Well, I ain't getting in bed with the government. So whatever that is. Matter of fact, I did it with this storm right here. People around me took in that FEMA shit, and they got their little new homes built. And I'm like, that's probably not the smartest idea. And come to find out, after they got these little new houses built for them, yeah, you can't touch that shit for like 5 years. You can't do nothing with it for 5 years. Why? Because you signed on the dotted line, and you're in bed with the government now.
Bug Out says, do it on our own. Coffee first. I can't answer this. I would never be in this position. Can't even put myself there. You know what, though, Coffee? This, even though this is a bank run question, there's all kinds of situations where the government creates a problem and then says, we will help you fix it. And if you don't let us help you fix it, you're on your own and you'll fail. The hurricane victims, you know, we got people that were not allowed to apply for help because of their political views. That happens in business all the time.
But here's the shining moment. Then you have the Amish show up and start building people houses.
Better yet, they registered a vote in numbers unprecedented.
This is what happened. Don't fuck with Amos.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You done pissed them off. You done poked the hive. You went after Amos. You done pissed the hive off.
Okay, Coffee put never in caps, basically shouting it. Never side with the government.
That's it. Never get in bed with the devil.
Well, and you know what? That's a great rule to live by. The Wetlands of America Act is a perfect example. You know, they get people tied into that program, and then they use it as a hook to be able to control I talked about the greenhouse earlier. You know, if I let the government come in here and inspect my greenhouse, they've got a hook, and then they can start dictating other things. And so I think Coffee's 100% correct. Never get in bed with the government.
Well, look at the beginning of the Biden shit, and you know, with the potatoes, because the farmers up north with the potatoes, they were in bed with the government because they had to, you know, you get the subsidy loans. They try to put you into where you need them to survive. See, there's the key to that question. That's what the farmers are doing. They regulate them until you have to come to them asking, and then your hook's in. And it's like back then, he had them dumping, what was that, like 30,000 tons of potatoes? But the government bought them, so technically they belong to the government. And that's that shit, man. It's just, the government isn't, just the word government has been polluted and twisted, and it's supposed to be people that from your area that you elect to go represent you and your wishes in the area. Mm-hmm. Not that you're always going to get your personal, individual, single way, but your area, your district, your community has decided to put this person up, and he speaks for them. And I'm still going to say Thomas Massey is the best example of that. His people in his area put him up there. He didn't want it. He did it. And he's one of the biggest voices on just how crooked and corrupt they are. So that's what we need. We need real people from real areas, not wealthy ass people that make a career out of politicians.
Yep.
And that's one thing Trump brought up was trying. I don't know how well that's going to go, because you're asking the mob to give up their own money. But
that's not going to happen.
Term limits.
Term limits ain't going to happen.
Yeah, once you kind of give people that much power, they don't voluntarily just give it up. Going, sure, put me in check. I've been here for 20 years, but you know what? Go ahead and fire me in 2 years. I'm cool with it.
The only way that happens is if you let the states decide that. If a state says you can only serve so many terms, because if you let the Senate and the House vote on that, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
okay.
That's like going to the mob family saying, "Are you going to stop breaking the law?"
The next one, World War III. These World War III cards, they're always very long. I read one. The first one I picked, I changed it. I changed out cards because I was like, that's way too long. Okay, this one.
Morning, Miss Shelley.
October.
Morning, TJ, morning out boot. Go ahead.
Yep. October 2039 in Salt Lake City, Utah. As World War III continues, you have been entrusted with a top secret mission to infiltrate enemy territory and gather vital intelligence. While on a mission, you are discovered and must decide between killing an innocent civilian who witnessed your actions or allowing them to live, risking exposure and failure of the mission. How do you handle this harrowing decision, and how does it affect you emotionally?
Man, see, I don't know. This is
okay. While you're thinking about that,
setup, man. This is a setup.
Let me tell you a story. You guys know who Marcus Luttrell is? The Last Survivor. The movie sucked compared to the book, and there's some questions about Marcus Luttrell's story, but there was a incident that happened there, and there was an SAS group during the first Gulf War that ran into the same problem. One was in Iraq, one was in Afghanistan. They ran across some young kids herding goats, and allowing them to go would have compromised their mission.
Okay, so that movie scenario that you're talking about, from that exchange where it was the goat herder that discovered them and they were up there. See, I would have dropped the dude.
Little kids, man. You gonna kill little kids? How heartless are you, man?
That scenario, it's just, unfortunately, this is one of the costs of war.
Well, and that's exactly what this card. That's exactly what this card's about. So rescue would take care of the loose end before it became a problem. What about everybody else? William read the book, so William can identify with the fact that the movie sucked.
Huckleberry said mission comes first.
Yeah. Bug out. I would presume that they sent one who would get the
mission.
Well, yeah. Okay, but I think the real question there is, how would it affect you emotionally? The kid was doing nothing but hurting his goats. He was just out there taking care of his family, man.
If you unalive any human being, regardless of age, it's going to affect you. So that's just a given. And you're going to either find a place to process that and file it away, or you won't, and then you're going to be a liability. That's the God's honest truth. They really don't get no simpler than that. You're going to experience something, and at that moment, the people around you are going to see where you are, and did you just break, or are you able to process that? And I think some people might. It's kind of like good old Tyson's. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of like, it's easy to sit and play Call of Duty and get up and talk about, man, when that spirit leaves that body, it just has an effect on you, and you might not come back, and then again you might. It's
everybody that I have talked to that's been into a situation where they've had to take somebody's life, and I've known, being in the military and being around the military culture after I got out of the military, everybody that I've talked to, you compartmentalize it. You pack it away. You continue on with the mission, and you pack those emotions away. And as soon as you get out of the situation you're in, you get done with the mission, then you unpack that stuff and you deal with it.
Yep. Bugga says all is fair in love and war, or is it? See, I personally, I don't know, man. I raised my kids where once the engagement starts, you do what you got to do to be the one to go home.
Yeah. Hey, I got to step away for just 1 second, Rescue. You guys talk about this if you would. I'll be right back.
No, roger that. And right, William? Yeah, unaliving people will eat you up. You just, that's where we come up with the whole PTSD. I mean, it's the emotional and psychological impact it has on you. And so that's why it's easy to talk aggressiveness, but it's different when it's time to go to work. And so that's why the best thing is you try to prevent having to go to that extreme work, and you try to do what you can do. It's easy to want to engage in something, but you got to look at the big picture. I reference a lot of stuff is it's kind of like having a herd of people. You got a boat that capsized. You show up. You can only save one at a time. You have to learn to make decisions, and you have to learn how to live with those decisions afterwards. And the same thing applies here. If you make a decision, you have to be able to live with that decision. And if things have peaked up that bad, then you have probably already discovered some things about yourself along in that journey when you got to that. Because It's kind of like people that can, I can do without, and then all of a sudden you're in day 3 and you don't have, and the mentality changes because now you're actually faced with the reality of it.
Hey, and if you're a veteran and you're dealing with this type of stuff, dial 988 and talk to somebody. Do not become part of that 22 a day. Okay.
See, well, this probably isn't the appropriate place to talk about that, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just saying. There.
No, not you. I meant I was going to ask you something because I don't know. Well, fuck it, I'll say it.
Okay.
See, I'm all for calling, but damn, man, I get leery now, and I don't know if it's just my paranoia over the whole medical field after the shit that just got pulled with COVID, but I don't know that, and I just see. I don't know if I want to say that out loud.
Okay, here.
You know what? I'm gonna first let me lead into this. If you need any kind of help whatsoever, you need to find that, whatever that is. So I'm gonna lead in with that. If you need it, you do it, boo. But I guess I find it's like, so I'm gonna call somebody I don't know, and I'm gonna tell you what's in my head and the way I'm feeling. And I have no idea what you're doing with that information, who I'm even talking to, or where that's getting filed. And we talk about, well, don't tell them you got a farm. Don't tell them you got canned goods. Don't tell them you got the pew-pews. But you're going to tell them that you have some issues. It's the same concept to me. I just don't.
Okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal, Rescue. Here's the deal. The best solution in this situation is for you to talk to your brothers and sisters in arms. If you're in a situation where you can't do that, then talk to somebody, because it's way better than unaliving yourself. All right, and I agree with you 100%. Talking to a stranger about something like this is something that I would not want to do. So I completely understand. Veterans, if you're out there, and I speak to this out of ignorance, because I was never in a situation where we were taking lives. I mean, I grew up in a different era than the young kids these days. All right, but talk to your brothers in arms. Reach out to them and talk to them on a regular basis. And it's seriously. It's a complete. It follows straight from this card. How do you deal with it emotionally? Well, you don't deal with it by getting into drugs and alcohol and trying to take care of it by yourself. You deal with it by talking with people, right? So if you can't find one of your brothers in arms, then you got to reach out to somebody. And hopefully you don't live in Canada, because if you live in Canada and you call them, they will try to do medical assistance in dying, and they'll tell you that's the option. But we live in America.
Boots saying in Seattle they'll do that too. They help you unalive yourself. Apparently, well, Seattle, the state of Washington. But
this is why I would never live in Washington.
Well, this is true. Miss Shelley, I will just address this real quick, because she says I have only one concern about Trump. Does he want a Project 25? Okay, I'm going to clarify. Project 25 is by the Heritage Foundation and a group of people, and you'll hear the media talk how, well, there's ex-Trump administration people on that. Well, that's because other people go get jobs. And so if you want to know what Trump's agenda is, then you need to look up Agenda 47. That's the actual agenda that Trump has written down, and what he wants to do is called Agenda 47. And it's under the Trump, the True Social, or matter of fact, I think it's even, is it TrumpAgenda47.com or some shit? Just search for Agenda 47. That's the actual Trump agenda. The Project 2025, one thing, Heritage Foundation has been doing the project thing through several administrations. It's not just a Trump thing. They call it 2025 because that's the year we're going into next. But that's not the Trump agenda.
And Miss Shelley, I'm gonna say this, and please don't get upset. The question seems like it's asked out of a little bit of ignorance, meaning that you haven't read 2025. Go read the Project 2025. It's only 75 to 80 pages long, if I remember correctly. It's not a very long document, And then once you've read it, go to Ryan Macbeth. He's got a YouTube channel. He did a video a couple of months ago where he broke down exactly what 2025 was. And this guy's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. Go look at it and listen to him and see what he says about it. What you've been told by the media and the left about Project 2025 is a complete lie. It's 100% disinformation. They are lying to the American public.
It's hate speech.
Well, no, they do hate.
It hurt my feelings, man.
They are hating. They are hating, definitely. But seriously, what they've said about 2025 is 100% lies.
Yeah, it's the whole fear monger thing. It's meant to
deceive you.
Yeah.
You know, and is everything in 2025 something that I agree with? No. There's some stuff in there that I do not agree with. By and large, it's a blueprint for making our country better, more secure, and more prosperous. You know? So don't take my word for it. Go do the research yourself. Ryan Macbeth, he's on Reddit, but he's got the YouTube channel. Go check him out. Go read it yourself. You know?
Yep.
Okay, next scenario. Religion.
Right.
This is always a good one.
Oh, Lord.
This is always a good one.
No pun
October 2029 in the remnants of San Francisco, California. Your spiritual leader claims he has received divine revelation as he introduces the controversial practice of plural marriage in the congregation. Sister wives, baby. As a devout follower, you struggle with accepting this new doctrine, which challenges your personal beliefs and values. Do you comply with the technique of your spiritual leader, risking potential harm to your existing relationships, or reject the practice and risk repulsion from the community? What factors influence your decision? So
on picking up a sister wife, would I pick up a sister wife type
or
thing?
being a sister wife?
No, I would not. I mean, hell, one's hard enough. I don't need more.
That's exactly what ran through my head. I get everything when I got.
Yeah, one's hard enough, man. It's I don't need two or more.
Coffee says he would not be my spiritual leader anymore.
That's it.
Bootlicker, do we get new Nike? That's dark, man. That is extremely dark. Well, okay, so the big question here: what influences your decisions? Why would he not be Coffee first? I'm going to ask Coffee first, and she put it out. Why would he not be your spiritual leader? You know the Bible. Yeah, the Bible, the Old Testament, and they talk about multiple wives and stuff. What are you going to do? Bootlicker's looking for that ride on that asteroid, man.
Yep.
Well,
Bug Out says I'm already lost if I'm in a cult. However, pimping ain't easy.
Well, the real question behind this scenario is do you let your religious leaders dictate your morals and ethics?
Nope.
That's what that question is. Coffee says because it doesn't agree with my morals anymore. Absolutely.
That's why it was like, wow, to just up and you're going to do a shift. It's like, yeah, I ain't down with it.
Well, let's reframe this question a little bit, and let's use something historical that happened. Does everybody know who Jim Jones is?
Yeah, and I ain't drinking the Kool-Aid.
Well, and that's exactly what this question is about. Do you drink the Kool-Aid?
That's it.
Do you drink the Kool-Aid?
Well, and I will say that, just, man, nobody should put their faith in a human being. So the spiritual leader, see that right there already sends. There's my red flag warnings. It's spiritual leader. Wait, what? Spiritual? No, if you're my spiritual leader, that's God, because that's the person with
Hmm.
direct connection to my spirit. Other than that, it's just manly words. Not to mention, I'm not a fan of churches, and I'm not knocking nobody's churches, so don't feel free to attack me. I'm not. You do you, boo. I'm not a fan of them because I just, once again, when you read this book, I never hear of any of these apostles being told to go build these fancy, cool, awesome looking churches. I never see Jesus doing that. I see him going into these temples that men built and flipping tables and getting pissed, but I just never see the promotion behind building these big glamorous objects. But yet here we are. And it's like, that's why for me, I'm in Texas, a couple hours from Houston. So Joel Osteen is my local little Satan spawn, because it's like, that dude, there you go. You got millions of dollars, dude. How is it that all your Escalades and Navigators that come into your parking lot drive through a dozen different starving neighborhoods to get to that church?
But he's got clean carpets.
Oh yeah, he won't let them in. He don't want you getting that money out the walls. Because, oh wait, that's right, that would be IRS tax dodging. We don't want to bring that up.
I I I get the impression from looking at the chat that everybody is in 100% agreement on this. Yeah, if the dude's preaching something that's against your morals and ethics, well, let's rephrase that. If you're a believer and the dude's preaching something against your morals and ethics, you don't follow him. Leave that church immediately. I think everybody's in agreement on that. Don't get mud on the carpets. Okay, you guys ready for the next one?
Lay it on us.
Pandemic. Again.
As
I read this question, remember, this was written prior to 2020. All right? Just remember that. July 2027. A pandemic outbreak causes a global economic crisis with millions losing their jobs and facing financial hardship. In Seattle, a group of citizens begin looting and raiding stores for essential supplies. As the city's mayor, you must decide how to respond to the escalating chaos. Will you enforce strict measures to protect business and restore order, risking public backlash and potential violence? Or will you adopt a more compassionate approach, attempting to address the root causes of the unrest?
So I'm assuming that this question is, are you going to be a Ted Wheeler or are you not?
And basically.
And I would not be a
opposite.
Ted Wheeler.
Ted Wheeler opposite, though. So the people that are looting and stuff are not doing it because they're mad at the system. They're doing it because the system has deprived them of their livelihood.
Because they were too lazy to become self-sufficient.
Well, hold on. No, okay, let's frame this. Okay? Pandemic happened. The government shut down your business and made it so you can't go to your job, and you're running into financial hardship. I take it, by the way the card's written, financial hardships to the point to where you're starving to death and you're not gonna be able to survive, because it's raiding stores for essential supplies. We're not raiding stores for 72-inch TVs or Nikes. We're not going into the Foot Locker and leaving all the work boots there and taking the tennis shoes. Okay?
No new TVs?
No, we're not looking at new TVs. The government has created a situation where my family and your family is going to starve to death if we don't do something. All right? So these people, and what would you do about the starving man that steals a loaf of bread? That's what this question is.
Do I see him stealing the loaf of bread? I shoot him before he steals the loaf of bread, because I want the loaf of bread. I mean, if we're in an economical collapse and we're looking about starving and shit, then once again we kind of go back to that other one, when it's like, because my job's to protect my family and the ones by me.
But the question is, you're the mayor, so you set these policies. You're not starving because you're the mayor. The mayor, come on. The mayor's not going to starve. But these other people, so the question is, do you prosecute the people that are doing it because they're starving, or do you follow the narrative and prosecute them because, or do you not prosecute them? Do you prosecute them?
Well,
This
then
is
I would.
seriously,
Yes.
this is the starving man loaf of bread question that Christians face every single day.
Yeah, see, but it's hard for me to get my head around that because it's because to be honest, I watched the Tim Walls footage from Minnesota when they were literally shooting people with paintball guns to get them back in their house.
Mhm.
My brain can't comprehend that. To be quite honest, my brain cannot. How what? And you're still there? But see, so I don't know. I I would have to say if I was a mayor and I saw this, then I would be taking care of my town, and we wouldn't. I would have tried to keep that from collapsing like that, regardless of what the government's doing. But see,
So
this is going with that hand in hand with the government, like a Ted Wheeler kind of thing, and or a Tim Walls. And see, I can't bring myself to do that. So I don't have an answer, I guess.
basically, the scenario is, as the mayor, you've let things progress to the point where the federal government has shut down, or the state government has shut down businesses and forced people to not go to work and get in financial crisis to the point where they feel the need they have to go out and steal stuff. Do you prosecute them because they're stealing stuff, or do you look at the root causes and try to fix the root cause? The root cause is that you've let the higher government, dictate to you what you're going to do at the local level. That's the root cause, right? And the dictates are hurting your fellow citizens, the people that elected you to take care of them, or not take care of them, but to look out for their best interest, right? So do you as an individual? Okay, here's the question. Oh damn! I just broke my rubber band. Anyway, here's the question. As an individual, as the mayor, do you support the higher levels of government that have put your community into a situation like this, or do you look out for the well-being of your people and say, go back to work? Let's look at this in a realistic manner. Is the virus that's going around no worse than your average bad flu year? 2.47% mortality rate among people that have precursors. It's not the end of the world. It's not the Black Death. Do we tell the higher echelons of government to go stuff it?
Yep.
Or do we open up our businesses and tell people to go back to work and start living their lives as they're supposed to live it? That's the question.
Yeah, and that's what we should do. That's why you shouldn't even have got there.
Exactly.
Well, I will point out though, just for a historical record mark, I do find it ironic the date on that card. So read that date when this happens again.
Where was it? July 2027.
So it's kind of weird because, wow, in July of 27, because then we're going to be going into an election thing for 28. And it's kind of like, wow, it's almost like deja vu or something.
I'm telling you, some of these questions with the pandemic were very, very prescient. Kind
Now
of prophetic.
we could prevent that as long as they'll lock little Fauci up and start digging into all that. We might can prevent that from happening again, but it does kind of make you kind of go, huh, that's kind of weird, the choosing of that date. But yep.
So Tuck says, at this point, the mayor has already failed in spectacular fashion.
Right.
Okay, here's the question that raises. All right, here's the question. We do something because we think it's the right thing to do. Turns out it was the wrong thing to do. Do you dig your heels in and continue doing the wrong thing because you're in charge and you're right? Or do you say, I was wrong, here's what we're going to do to move forward? Think of Mario Cuomo in New York and sticking COVID patients in nursing homes.
Yep. Well, or Walls having his frickin' stormtroopers paintballing people, keeping them in their houses and shit.
Oh, I would. I'm not even gonna say what I would have
I
done.
know, dude. My mind, I saw that and I'm like, my brain just can't connect to these dots. Why are you there?
My son and my wife and I had a conversation last night, as a matter of fact. He was making the comment that growing up we did not have any guns in the house, and we were like, yeah, we had guns in it, because the question is, his kids are getting to the age they're going to start having friends over for birthdays. He doesn't want the firearms where the kids could get to them, right? Perfectly understandable. It's a legitimate concern. And he made the comment that we didn't have guns in the house when he was a kid, and we were like, yeah, we did. And in fact, I sat on the front step threatening the drug dealers down the street with a firearm with one of the guns that we had over the course of about 2 weeks.
It's just when you were growing up, that wasn't a media talking point to say
Right.
how bad they were, so nobody really ever thought about them. It's like all those thousands of kids that went to school with guns in their back windows and the gun racks, like, ah!
Right. But the point is, in this case, so we made a mistake in the past. How do we do, as a leader, do you move forward and admit you're wrong?
Yes, that is a characteristic of the true leader.
Mm-hmm.
The true leader acknowledges the mistakes and moves forward. A true leader listens to other output to then rectify the situation. So an egotistical prick doesn't listen to anybody and sticks with the sinking boat.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think everybody, from looking in the chat, I think everybody's on the same page here, thinking the same way. Yeah, it's one of the problems we ran into, man. The chat, kind of like an echo chamber. You know what you need to do? You need to promote this and get some liberals in here.
I can't take it, dude. I get everybody wants to do this conversation and unity shit, but man, unless you're going to come to me and say, first off, I want to tell you that I've been batshit crazy for a few years, and I apologize that I was so far off the path. I still have my doubts. Now we've made progress, but all you want to do is come in here and scream, "Orange Man bad. He's going to dictate everything. He's locking us all up." Okay, there is no conversation. You're just that people scream at you. That's where we've reached. I do find it ironic, that word conversation, and well, we need to have an open conversation. There is no, what open conversation? You show people the data and it's like, well, there you go. It's kind of like the COVID shit. Well, what are we going to do? Just keep debating that? It's obvious. The data shows the facts. The election 2020, the facts, the data shows the facts.
I want to address something that is just posted. A true leader would never let it go downhill. You know
That's
what?
Not true.
Somebody that's been, I have been in situations where decisions that I made could have gotten people killed. The United States government, for whatever strange reason, said that I was a person that needed to be in charge of security on nuclear weapons. That's a scary freaking thought. Anyway.
It's the grumpy dude's got his finger on the button.
Well, we could have caught, anyway. You know what? The measure of leadership is not never making a mistake. The measure of leadership is figuring out when you've made a mistake and how you deal with it. Right? And that's been one of my big complaints about Trump was he would never admit when he made a mistake. And he made some very obvious mistakes, but he would never do it. And that's one of the things that when he was on Joe Rogan and a couple other things, when people have asked him, and he still doesn't want to do it wholeheartedly, but he said, okay, here's some of the things I did wrong the first time around, and this is how I'm going to fix it. The true measure of a leader, whether it's the mayor in this situation, or it's your boss at work, or it's you with your family, if you make a mistake, own up to it, figure out what you did wrong, admit to it, and then fix it. That's the true measure of leadership.
Yep. And Oops says, anyone get a text telling them to report to nearest cotton plantation? I've already picked my fair share of cotton, so I don't owe nobody no sack of cotton. I done did my share. So, and I feel for bad, see, because sometimes I wonder if people feel that way because of the areas they're in, and I really do feel bad if people are in such that you walk outside and fear and stress and anxiety just bombard you because you're looking around and you see all this crazy shit. I feel for that. I really have come to terms with that. I think that's where the disconnect for me and a lot of people are, because that's not my life. Now, me and the missus can get up here in a couple hours. We can go on into town to go get breakfast, and ain't nobody gonna scream at us. I could even wear a Trump is
Yep.
king shirt and a hat, and nobody's gonna scream at me. Nobody's throwing shit at my car. Nobody does any of that around me. So, and I found that was probably part of my problems at the beginning of doing this, because I would approach it from what I experience, and then other people are coming at it from their experience, and it clashes. Now I've come to just terms that there's people that live in very high stress situations, and I don't. So,
Yep. Okay, last card. This is the tenth scenario. This one is natural and man-made disasters. This one starts out very dramatic, so I'm going to try to play it up as best I can. On a stormy night, March 2026, in New Orleans, Louisiana, the city is reeling from the aftermath of a devastating Cat 5 hurricane. Thousands are displaced and need a food or shelter. As the citizens struggle to rebuild, a series of home invasions by desperate survivors are taking place every night. You hear a noise in the middle of the night, and you see a family breaking into your front neighbor's evacuated home. The police are taking at least 6 hours to respond to each call. This matter is in your hands. What would you do and why? Okay, in a nutshell, bad things have happened. You see one of your neighbors breaking into one of your other neighbor's house. Do you go out and confront him, or do you just let it happen?
morning, Joyful. Well, okay, right off the top, I'd say I would just let him just go. And I only say that because, if I'm not mistaken, I think the key word you used was that was an evacuated house, which
Yes, they
means your
evacuate.
neighbors were not in there anymore.
No, there's nobody in the house.
So then I would not, I don't think I would confront him, because I wouldn't want to disclose that I'm right there and that I'm still there. Maybe they're going to go in there and then they're going to keep on going down. I think I would address it as in just letting them do them, unless they advanced and kept coming farther, and then you got to address the situation.
Okay. Well, and other people, coffee, not my house, not my problem, not confronting them. Some other people said that. So consensus seems to be, here's my counterpoint. Here's my counterpoint. These are your neighbors, the people across the street. Hopefully, well, no, you may not know them. It doesn't matter. But the people across your street are the neighbors, the people breaking into your neighbors. What happens whenever those people that feel it's their right to steal somebody else's stuff, run out of things, and you've sat quietly behind your windows, you bunkered in, and they run out of stuff, and they decide that in the middle of the night it's time to come to your house because they don't know you're there? What do you do?
Oh, start dropping.
Well,
Let the bodies hit the flow. Let the bodies hit the flow.
and
What's up, Tiger?
Kiss off is in the same boat as I am. You know what? I'm not going to go out there and I'm not going to stop them. You know, it's not my job. It's not my job to stop them from stealing somebody else's stuff in this situation. But it is my job as a member of the community to go out there and go, hey, you guys should not be doing this. And to let them know that they're doing this now. If they decide to come after my stuff, I will kill them. So I'm in the same boat as Kiss Off. I would confront them. I would let them know. I said, you do what you feel you need to do. But if you come to my house feeling you need to do what you need to do, there will be problems.
I can see that. Given the surroundings, depends. Yeah. Look, I guess if it happened here, then yeah, I could see me doing that here, because there's enough of a distance, and you'd see this starting to come, and it would send the message.
Simple.
Right, Huckler? Leave the TVs and Nikes on the curb as a peace offering.
Oh, I can't scroll down. Somebody said if I don't like those neighbors, I'm going to let them do whatever the hell they want.
Oh yeah, that was a Huckleberry too, I think. What's up, turning guns?
Again, I probably would not feel bad about them stealing their stuff. I would still let them know you are being watched, and and here's another thing that people need to think about. This without rule of law, eventually the rule of law is going to come back. All right, and you're going to be held accountable. If you're stealing stuff, you're going to be held accountable. If you drop people without good cause, you're going to be held accountable.
Know about it.
Yeah, but I get the whole idea. It's not my house in this situation. Why should I be concerned about somebody else's house? Well, because they have that much disregard for that house. How much regard are they going to have for your house?
Oh well, yeah, but see, that's one of those. Because how did it get there? Was that the first house to be looted? Are you the very first one in what this? That's sometimes with the questions. It's like, well, how did we get to that point? It's like if they're looting houses, did they not loot any other houses before that one? Because it's once again, if I take that and put it in perspective here, like if we started hearing shit was firing off in Houston, which is a couple hours down the road, but still, because of like Highway 59 comes out over there, so we know that, okay, I guarantee you there's fixing to be some trucks, a couple of deuce and a halves pulled across that road, and you're not turning off that farm market road into here. That would be the reaction around here. Like if you heard of anywhere within a couple hour range of us of looting houses type shit, or like when they were lighting the businesses on fires and shit, hell no, man. That conversation had already happened around here. Well, there'll be some deuce and a halves parked across that road there, and you won't come in that way.
It's the broken windows scenario. If you allow the community to be okay with broken windows, you're going to get more broken windows. So when that window gets broken, you fix it. And it's just like the looters, and it doesn't matter if it's the first house. And this is my opinion. I'm not saying anybody's wrong. This is just my opinion. If you allow those people to loot without being confronted and letting them know that there are repercussions for their actions, they're going to continue doing it.
Oh yeah.
Until they come to break your windows or they come to steal your stuff.
You can look at what we just went through. That's why so many businesses and people got unalived and beat down and shit, is because the powers that be said, sure, go for it. You have problems and you want to voice them, or what was it? What dipshit said? Who said peaceful? Who said protests should be peaceful? I mean, so yeah. See, that shit should have never happened. The minute you start to see that shit happen, it should be addressed.
I love Kosti's question there. I love this question. That is a fantastic question. Okay, let's ask. The neighbors. Are they going to unalive you for confronting them, or are they likely to move on? It goes directly to knowing who lives around you. If these people are the criminal element and they're doing this, that would be even more justification for me confronting them, to let them know. And yes, and it goes down to the question: do you hunker down and do you let circumstances run amok and do whatever they may in your local area, or do you engage and try to manipulate things so that they don't get so bad you can't control them?
Well, see, and that's also one of those, you kind of would have to assess the whole situation, because it's like, if you go to confront them, okay, so they leave, but what's to say they don't then go gather up bigger numbers, and now that they know you are there, they don't do some other kind of clandestine shit, knowing that you are somebody that might stand up against them. So you kind of got to just assess the overall situation.
Well, and it depends is a good answer in this case. 'Cause I'm going to be completely honest with you. There are people in this area that if the situation came up and I was confronted with this, I would just drop them. There are other people in the area that if the situation came up, I would confront them, and I'm relatively positive that it would not cause problems down the road for me. Right? So again, know your neighbors. You don't have to be buds with them. You don't have to invite them over for a beer at the Rusty Zipper Club, but know your neighbors.
Well, and that's not even just the without rule of law scenario, because hell, me and the missus have talked about that for probably the past 10, 15 years as we've watched society kind of change. Because I remember a time when, dude, if you pulled up in somebody's driveway and nobody in that area recognized your vehicle, somebody was going to come out to look, going just, well, oh,
Mm-hmm.
and you'd wave at them, and they'd be like waving back at you. You'd go knock on the door, and oh, hey, and you'd go in, and next thing you know, one day they might even go over to that neighbor going, yeah, I was just wondering, I saw your friend come over, and I just wasn't sure. Matter of fact, we used to have an old man that was back here. We called him Old Man Isaac. That dude, I don't know how he did it, old senile old fucker. But that dude could tell you everybody's license plate. Like if your vehicle came off that road, he knew where they were going. He knew they were related to the. And man, if somebody didn't, he was like, he would get on his little damn snapper mower and he would follow them. He'd want to know where they were going. But nowadays, dude, you can literally watch a U-Haul back up in a driveway, and a team of people just get out, go in the house, and start loading shit up, drive off, and then the next day your neighbors come home going, oh my God, I was robbed. And they're like, yeah, oh, wow, that's sad.
I was just
Never
going
will
to use
say
that.
shit about seeing, oh yeah, I saw a U-Haul yesterday. I called the law. I called somebody. I thought that was on you. No, no, no. Oh yeah, and they drink the tea. Yeah, I did
I
see
was
that.
going to use that as an example, Rescue. When we lived, long time ago, we lived in Grandview, Missouri, which is a suburb of Kansas City. Not the best area, right? And one block over, there were 4 duplexes, eight houses that were all Section 8. And I did not see this happen, but it was in the news. These people rolled up during the day and hit 3 units, literally backed in with the U-Haul, like you said, popped the door, and emptied the houses out in the matter of about an hour. And nobody said squat. People next door, there were people in the unit next door to one of them, and they let it happen.
I don't want to get involved. I'm not confrontational. It's all this, the weak. I never realized that was the precursor to the weakness that we're in right now, but that's what that is. That was the precursor to the weakness that we were coming into. And so now people don't want to, they're either going to scream or not say anything.
Yeah. And much to my shame, if I'm honest about it, there are times in my life where I just put my head down and walk by. Never more. No more. It's not going to happen anymore. And it hasn't happened in a while. It's when I was much younger and had different views in the world.
Full of piss and vinegar.
Yeah. I was more worried. I was more worried about other things. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we have gone through all 10 cards, guys. Everybody that was here, give me a 1 in the chat if you enjoyed this. All right? I certainly hope you guys did. It was fun.
Give a 1 if you liked it, and a 2 if you thought it was just a waste of time.
Bootlicker, where'd you live, man? We were over off of 8th Street, like just south of Grandview in Maine.
How far do you go with I mind my own business until it affects your area? Because what your neighbor does in his yard is none of your business. Well, I'm going to say my business because I hate that your part. I feel like I'm then pointing at somebody. But what my neighbor does in their yard is none of my business. However, if a vehicle that I'm unaware of were to show up to that house, it's not a matter of, oh, it's my business. If I texted my neighbor saying, hey, were you expecting company? Because I noticed you guys left and there's a car that pulled up. So that's that. But see, I think that bleeds over into that we're not community orientated. We don't communicate with our neighbors, even on a very just a wave and a hey Bob, hey. You don't have to get along. You don't have to drink beer together. You don't have to barbecue, but you just need to at least go, hey Bob,
Yep.
morning Brian. All right, there you go. Something were to happen to him, hey, I'll help you. What do you got? You got something severe? Here, I can help. I guess maybe I've worked too many different type of jobs and environments with squads and crews and team type orientated type shit to where, and you probably get it, Grumpy, because of the military service.
Mhm.
You work with anybody. Nobody ever says, hey, we're in this foxhole together. Where are you from? Oh, fuck that shit. No, I ain't gonna be in here with you. Wait, what kind of food do you eat? Okay, fuck that. I'm not with you. Wait, what beer do you drink? Fuck that. Nobody ever talks about. You have a job. You have a mission, and together you're gonna do that. What shoes you wear, the cologne you wear, what kind of girls you sleep with, what music you listen to, the movies you watch, the food. None of that shit matters. That's like when they try to bring this race shit into the military. It doesn't matter. Nobody looks next to him to go, wait, are you black, brown, yellow, white? What are you? Ugh. No, there's a mission. There's a job, and that's, so I don't view things, because I can work with anybody. Hell, I've worked with people that I can't stand. I personally would come home in the evenings and ask God, it's like, really? This is the sack of flesh you put down here? I mean, are you expecting something out of this? People were just useless. But as long as we're on a job and you're going to focus on that job, that's all I worry about. Are we doing the job? Now we're done. You go do you, boo.
Dude, I asked everybody to put a 1 in there if they enjoyed this. Camo Carl loved this so much he put a 3. He loved it 3 times more than everybody else.
And yeah, I didn't see no 2s. So I guess most people enjoyed it. Which I hope you did, because, I mean, and this is going to sound kind of crude and egotistical of me, but I'm that guy. It's my channel. I liked it. So, I mean, hopefully y'all do, and then we can participate. Otherwise, I guess I'll sit up here and read questions to myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I enjoy doing these things. I love hearing what everybody thinks. And this morning, there were some really good comments in the comment section, really thought provoking, and I really appreciate everybody showing up.
Shoot, yeah, man. We had like 38, 39 people in here, so
Yep.
I appreciate it. Hey, by the way, so Grumpy's going to give away a deck of cards.
Uh-huh.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to think of a number between 1 and 50. So a number between 1 and 50. And here I will even
write it down. Yeah, write it down so
that way I won't be cheating or nothing. So before I even look up at the screen, I'm going to write this. So between 1 and 50, give me a number between 1 and 50. If you would like to win a deck of W.R.O.L cards.
we'll say within the next minute.
So
you gotta
start entering numbers.
Yep, put a number in.
Between 1 and 50, whoever hits the magic number wins a deck. And I said deck, that was with an E, just so we're clear. I know I'm from East Texas, so I want to clarify that.
There's a great big bag of them.
No, Grumpy only said 1.
Oh goodness, well, I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. Listen, again, this is a fantastic way to vet people and to start a conversation. If you're looking to build community, it's a great tool.
Carl, it was between 1 and 50. Man. Some have gotten pretty close, but just not.
Do they have to be spot on?
Well, it's the number.
Okay.
How do you guess the number without saying that number?
Well, it's been a minute so far. Nobody's guessed it. Do we just allow them to go on until they get it?
Oh, they're going to get it. Somebody's going to get it. I know they're going to get it.
I've seen like 47.
They're too close now. It's zooming in, if nothing else. I mean, at some point, they're going to hit the right number just because they seem to be headed in that direction.
I've seen 45 several times. I've seen 47 several times.
I know, man.
They're just typing stuff, man. They're just banging away.
So, okay, so you understand that I was saying to say a number. Oh, wait, there you go. Dusty got it. 20.
Oh, 20. Congratulations.
Carl was close, but he just added one too many numbers.
Dusty.
So Dusty
Here.
got it. Big Dusty, little Dusty.
So here's the deal. Can you type my email in there? Rescue, I can't make a.
Yes.
Oh, I guess I can't. Can I? No, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't make it.
You can't type in chat?
No, I can't. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, it's the real grumpyacres@gmail.com is our email. You can go to our channel, go to one of our, or go to our about page or whatever it's called on YouTube, and our email's in there. Get our email, send me your mailing address, and remind me why you're sending me your address, please. Let me know it's for the deck of cards. Do that, and I will pass that on to JD, and he will get a deck of cards mailed out to you.
Right on. Okay, Coffee, make a great day of it, ma'am.
And everybody remember,
keep your head on straight.
Whenever Rescue gets his cards, lean into his butt and tell him to become an affiliate of W.R.O.L, so that if any of you guys decide you want to buy a deck of cards, you can help throw a little bit of money his way. Okay?
Hey, thanks, Blue. That's it. Oh,
yeah,
wait,
that's
you forgot that. No, you forgot that. You changed the D to an L. It's the
real
Grumpy Acres. It's
the real Grumpy Acres at gmail.com.
So, let me see. Let me do it this way.
Because I really appreciate everybody showing up. I realize it's early on a Saturday morning, and it's kind of hard to get up and get moving.
There we go.
Well, that's our website.
Oh, yep.
Our emails at gmail.com.
Okay. Yeah, see, I'm glad you said that too, because I would have actually put the other email.
I need to get rich and buy that YouTube channel that's named Grumpy Acres, so we can simplify it. Yeah, that's right. There you go. That last one that Rescue posted. Yeah, Dusty, send me your address, and we'll get it out to you.
Yeah, Blue got 20 right after, just a couple after.
Well, and listen, guys, go out and support JD. I'm gonna say this. He's extremely generous in allowing us to give these things away. Him and Southern Prepper one too, Dave Kobler. Support these guys. A lot of the generosity is based on the fact that he wants people to become more prepared, and he wants people to start thinking about this stuff, because he doesn't want people to suffer whenever things happen. Right. So you
start getting these thoughts kind of in your head, and it's not to plant bad thoughts, but it's just get you to think about things that,
right.
Yeah, something along those lines could go down. Well, then you've already had some forethought into it.
Right. And remember, you take care of the little things, the big things aren't as big as what they're supposed to be, or what they could be. You know, and we talked about it yesterday in chat, Rescue. You know, the election of Trump is not going to save us.
No.
It's going to give us time and space. And if you're thinking about letting up off the pedal and taking your foot off the gas for a little while because you feel things aren't quite as bad as they could be, you're wrong. You need to push that pedal all the way to the floor right now. So you can do what you can while you can.
Well, and you know, that's what kind of really gets me too, because we'll talk about the media and the propaganda and the programming and, you know, all that, but you know, it happens. It's not a one-sided thing. It happens amongst society. You know, you look at the word Trump. Somehow when you say that, no matter which side of the party you're on, people put reverence on the name. Whether it's the Trump's gonna save it versus Trump ain't gonna do nothing. I mean, and it's like, Okay, we've been around for 250 plus years, and we've always had that role. It's just a position called the president. That's not the one all be all. It's never been the one all be all. The president isn't the only dude that gets us into shit, and the president ain't the only guy that'll get us out of shit. It's the whole. It's all three branches, and it's the fact of American citizens need to start participating. And so there's what I hope comes from this. I hope one thing that got learned from this, because 2016 everybody seemed to rally behind the red, white, and blue and the America, his message of giving it back to the people. And I really feel that most people, life kind of went into this nice little chill mode. So everybody just sat down
Mhm.
and said, well, it's not so bad. No, man, Trump's doing good. Yeah. And they just kept hitting the same lick that they had been hitting. It's just that now all of a sudden there was a little bit more money, things were flowing. Well, this is coming. This isn't the time to sit back in the lazy boy. This is just one. There's a 30-foot extension ladder, and this is just the first rung on that whole ladder. We still got many more steps to go. We need to focus on we didn't clean up the House and the Senate just because Republicans have it. There's rhinos all up in there, so they need to be filtered out. You have your local school boards. We still have an education problem, and it's not the fucking federal government. They're part of it, but I'm sorry, that local school board that's pumping shit into your local school district, they're elected and they're sitting on a panel, and they can be changed out. So I would say you use this lull. He comes in, he's got his team, they're hitting hardcore on the feds. This is where the American citizens need to pull their boots on, and you start looking into your local officials, your local school board, and self-reliance. How do you get out of the system, start preparing your own food in the smallest amounts you can? If it's just growing basil in your kitchen windowsill, you now do not have to go buy commercial basil. Just one little step, but don't keep looking at solving it all at once. Just one little step at a time, one bite at a time. But start getting self-reliance to where you don't need or want so much, because you really don't need it. And this is going to be kind of a rather feather ruffling thing, but people use the word God a lot. And it's like, because it's funny, because nowhere in that book that's a couple thousand years old with all the different versions and different authors, and nobody talks about having the coolest TV or the car or any of these man-made materialistic things. So maybe we need to self-reflect on what do we find needful versus want. Needs and wants make a life-changing effect, and maybe it's people ought to take a little listing of what are your actual needs versus what are your wants, and then start focusing, because this is the time to me to work on local. Let them deal with the feds. Start cleaning up your neighborhood. Then regardless of what happens up there, your backyard and your front door is squared away.
Okay, hey, dude, I gotta go feed the animals. We've been at this for over 2 hours. This was a good session. I'm gonna build on something you just said before I go, though. You know what? When we woke up on November 6th, nothing in our lives changed. Seriously, when we woke up, the onus for change in the country is on we the people. It's not on some politician at your state level. It's not on some politician at the national level. It's on us. We the people are responsible for fixing this mess that we're in, and we need to do it. All right? We're given space and time right now. Let's use it to our advantage and do the best we can. Okay?
Yep.
Listen, I got to go. Enjoyed this, man.
How you gonna live life, Grumpy?
I'm going to go pursue a life done free today. How about you?
Amen, brother.
All right, you guys, listen, I got to go. You guys take care of yourself, and I will see you around.
Roger that. Appreciate you, brother.
Love you too.
Always welcome. Mr. Grumpy Acres in the house. Cool. Dusty, don't forget to reach out. Get you a deck of cards. Very cool. Very cool. So did y'all enjoy that? We'll start trying to do that more. Throw a little convo into the situation. Excuse me. Man, oh man, that was pretty cool. I had a good time. I was a little worried how it was going to start. Wasn't sure if it was starting. All my little audio issues, my technical difficulties. Grumpy, the name doesn't fit. You just got to trigger him just right. Oops. And then you get where the grumpy comes from. You just got to trigger him just right. And I might have to get... That's it, Rabbit. Well, cool. I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. That was pretty cool. Little Saturday morning. Little brain game. No stinking thinking. Scat Pack every day is another chance to be a better person. That's it. Man, that's the way. That's just me. I just try to better myself in some way. Become more tolerant, more patient, more determined. Just I try not to be an asshole unless I'm pushed into that corner, and I really try to avoid being pushed into that corner as much as possible, because it usually never turns out well afterwards. I used to laugh and tell the missus because people would bitch when you hit them back, and I would go, I don't understand. It's like people put hands on you, and then all of a sudden there's like some kind of like chart that you're supposed to use on smacking them back, and it's like it doesn't work that way. So when you do shit, sometimes you just got to do shit back. Hey, I do need a quick moment, so give me about, well, I don't know, 2.5, 3 minutes, and y'all can jam out to this. I kind of dig this song. Matter of fact, you know what? We'll do this one. Little old Tom McDonald action. Hey.
America is going woke. The streets are full of fire and smoke. This ain't the way I thought it would be. The White House full of evil folks. Americans ain't free no more. They don't respect folks like you and me. The way we're treated ain't been fair. Fake news on every TV. 4 years we've been in this nightmare. Why they killed American dreams. We can't afford our lives here. Rent, food, and gasoline. These colors don't run, and I only warn you once. Buddy, don't tread on me. I won't forget the ones who died for our freedom, and I ain't gonna hand it back. No, no, no. If liberty and justice ain't enough to believe in, then get out of here and don't look back. Go, go, go. We love our home, and if you don't, pack your bags, you're free to go. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split ya. Wave goodbye to Joe. We love our land. If you ain't fans, buddy will help you pack your bags. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split ya. Burn someone else's flag.
America is losing hope, divided by the way we vote. This ain't the way that this all should be. We're fighting over memes and jokes. They're burning flags that we hold close. They think that war's only overseas. The way we're painted ain't been fair. So what? You don't know me. You got something to say? Well, I'm right here. Thank us for the freedom of speech. You like to claim I don't care, cause I ain't gonna bend no knee.
These colors don't run, and I only warn you once. Buddy, don't tread on me. I won't forget the ones who died for our freedom, and I ain't gonna hand it back. No, no, no. If liberty and justice ain't enough to believe in, then get out of here and don't look back. Go, go, go. We love our home, and if you don't, pack your bags, you're free to go. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split ya. Wave goodbye to Joe. We love our land. If you ain't fans, buddy will help you pack your bags. Don't let the big door hit you with a good Lord split ya. Burn someone else's flag. If you look close, you'll see America. She don't look quite like she did. This ain't the country that our parents love, but I still hear her on the wind. We love our home, and if you don't, pack your bags, you're free to go. Don't let the big door hit you where the good Lord split you. Wave goodbye to Joe. We love our land, if you ain't fans, buddy will help you pack your bags. Don't let the big door hit you where the good Lord split you. Burn someone else's flag.
Amen. Hell yeah. Yeah, by the way, Monty, if you're not sub to Hook, sub up to Hook, and he's been going live, doing a little playlist. It's been pretty cool, pretty cool. It's good to see. Good to see him getting active. Let's see, we're coming up on 3 hours. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Hey, you just pick your flavor, Money. Hey, you got what? You got Best Life, Mrs. Metal, you got Backwards, Turning Guns. We got so many Billies. But yeah, man, that was pretty cool. That was a fun little morning. Get the juices flowing. There you go, Money. Hit the bell. Anyone who cheated in Texas best get the hell out of here. They are checking it right now. Oh, I know, Carl. That's one thing I think that somebody was saying. There's so much changes that went on, you know. So to think that it's the same as 2020 is just, it's not. You know, it might be for some people in some areas. You know, hell, if your area is so bad, it's like a California thing. You know, that state, hell, they flipped the minute the first call came in. They flipped it. You know, so, but there's something, there's a lot of shit that went on, and like I bragged about how Paxton unleashed the what do you call that, the election integrity legal response team, and he dropped those in different areas. Keep an eye on shit, man. Making sure it wasn't fixing to jack no shit here. There were some other states, plus they just got through filing lawsuit and won the lawsuit against the illegals and shit. So I don't know. We just you need to get invested, you know. Plant you something, grow you something. Hey, morning, Garrett. But don't let up. That's the one thing I can say, like Grumpy said, you know, you don't take your foot off the pedal. We just got to keep pushing forward. Just because there's a little lull in the battle right now don't mean it ain't fixing to pick up. Might as well go ahead and be prepared. Well, hey, I'm going to let y'all get on with your day. Make a good day of it. Try to help somebody smile today. And what is it, Scat Pack? Be the change you want to see. What? Hey, y'all take care. I appreciate you starting your Saturday morning with me. Just remember, don't let all the negative, all the Debbie Downer shit, don't let all that shit discourage you. You're going to get out of life what you put in it. And you're capable of doing anything that you put your mind to. And you need to remember that. I appreciate y'all.
I ain't here tomorrow. If the good Lord says it's my time to go, out on sea that morning sunset. There's some things I need for you to know. The truck is yours if you want it. It'll run forever if you treat it right. When you think of me on some back road, that's because I'm right there by your side.
Hey, good to see you, Papas. Hope you're doing better, brother.
Chase your dreams until you catch on. Leave your doubts in a cloud of dust. You can't ever love too big. You can't call your mom too much. Do your best to get it right. Forgive yourself when you don't. Hope you don't.
Hey, morning, Mayhem. What's up, buddy?
I ain't here tomorrow.
Hey, y'all just remember that you can do anything that you put your mind to. No matter what anyone says, you just show up and you do the work. You just keep showing up, doing the work, and lead the way.
Don't let life turn you bitter. Don't be ashamed to bow your head. Take it easy on the liquor. Remember what it did to your granddad. Yeah, you're gonna get your heart broke. But a couple of tears don't make you weep. Gonna find that girl God made just for you. Knows what he's doing, wait and see.
Hey, morning, Elizabeth.
Dreams until you catch on. Leave your doubts in a cloud of dust. You can't ever love too big. You can't call your mom too much. Do your best to get it right. Forgive yourself when you don't. Hope you don't forget how much I love you. I ain't here tomorrow.
Just remember, you put good stuff in, you get good stuff out. Positive, motivating, push forward type stuff is what then will be in your head, and it'll help motivate and push you forward. You're capable of doing anything that you put your mind to. Don't let anybody tell you different.
Keep the shotgun in the family. Raise your babies by the book. And keep my picture in your wallet. Keep your car keys on a hook. Do your best to get it right. Forgive yourself when you don't. Please don't ever forget how much I love you. I ain't here tomorrow.
Hey, make your day a good day. It's all in how you decide to take in today. So don't take in the negative, take in the positive, pull up your bootstraps, get something done today, even if it's something small. An accomplishment will help you so much.